Products, Central Rock Company, the Kentucky Horse Park, Police Incorporated, 1 Hour Photo, C&H Rao, and your local Manville dealer.
It is a clear, cool evening in Lexington, and the Kentucky Wildcats, unbeaten in their first 4 games, open Southeastern Conference play against the Tigers of Auburn. Auburn comes in with a record of 3-1 and high hopes of winning the SEC championship. And before this season got underway, anyone would have thought that at this stage of the schedule, Auburn would be the team that is undefeated. But that's not the way it is. The Kentucky Wildcats are unbeaten. Hello, everybody. I'm Rob Bromley. Charlie McCullers is along with me again tonight, and Charlie, the Cats with their first 5 at home, they get a chance to win all 5.
Well, they sure do, Rob, but they have to play a near-perfect ball game. By that, I mean they cannot have any interceptions, they cannot have any fumbles, and they really can't have any major breakdowns in their kicking game. If they get behind early, they're in trouble because this is a strong, ground-oriented Auburn team.
Now, of course, Auburn runs the wishbone offense, and it's very well directed by quarterback Randy Campbell, but a potent weapon in that offensive backfield, number 34, Bo Jackson.
Well, we've seen some 34s around here in the past. Herschel Walker of the University of Georgia, but Bo Jackson is a great back in his own right. He's 6'1", 229 pounds, has great speed, great strength. That's going to be one of the major things to contain him on the sweep and on the option plays tonight.
Now, the wishbone will put a lot of pressure on Kentucky's defensive line, especially the ends, Brian Williams and Stacy Burrell.
Well, that is the key to the option game. Sometimes we'll find our ends stunning upfield, taking away the option, but most of the time they'll be doing what we call slow play. They will take the quarterback at the inside, make him pitch a ball, and then play inside out with help on the corners from one of the defensive secondary people.
All right, both the coaches here tonight studied under Paul Bear Bryant. Pat Dye of Auburn, Jerry Claiborne of Kentucky. We'll be back with the toss of the coin in just a moment as Auburn goes against Kentucky. Have the toss of the coin, and I don't think we could ask for a more perfect night for football. Down there for Kentucky, Ron Bajalet, Scott Schroeder, Kevin McClellan, and Rick Massey. For Auburn, Randy Campbell, Al Del Greco, Jeff Jackson, Pat Arrington, and Donnie Humphrey. Right now the officials are being introduced. And let's see if we can go down on the field now and listen in on the toss of the coin.
This is head. All of us in the air. You will call head. It's tails. You win the play.
All right, as you can see there, Kentucky wins the toss, and I believe now has elected to go with the second half option, which seems to be the thing to do, Charlie.
I would think that would be the thing to do right now. That gives them an opportunity, depending on what the score is. Auburn has elected to receive, and Kentucky will defend the north goal.
All right, we'll be back for the opening kickoff immediately following these messages. The last game played down at Auburn last season. Auburn won it 18-3 on those 6 field goals by Al Del Greco. Last game played here in Lexington was in 1975, a game in which Kentucky had a 9-0 lead. Turnovers in the final minutes cost it for the Wildcats, 15-9. Auburn won it. And a game that Frank Kersey always seems to point to as a game where a lot of problems started for him.
Well, I think that's true. They should have won that football game. All they had to do was take a couple of kickoff returns, control the ball for a first down or so, and then they'd be in good shape. Last year's football game, the defense played great. If we could have had some offense, we had a chance to win that game in the 4th quarter.
So there is Chris Caudell. He has it teed up at the 40-yard line. The far deep man is number 22, Brent Fullwood. He is standing right back around the 3-yard line. And here's the kick by Del Greco. It's going to go over to the far side of the field, and here comes Fullwood from about the 5. Right up the middle. Brings it right straight back up to the 25-yard line where he is hit and dropped. Steve Mazza in there on the tackle for the Wildcats. And the Auburn Tigers will go to work. 1st and 10 right about at their own 25. The quarterback is Randy Campbell. Running backs are Tommy Agee, Lionel James, and Bo Jackson. Roy DeStable at back. Over the ball at center will be Ben Tamburello. The guards, David Jordan and Randy Stokes, Pat Arrington and Steve Wallace. The tackles, the tight end Ed West. The split end is Chris Wood. 1st and 10 from the 25. Auburn out of the wishbone, and here comes Lionel James. Fights his way forward, gets a few yards, is driven out of bounds over at the far side of the field. Kevin McClellan was over there along with Keith Martin to make the tackle. Call it a pickup of 3 as they mark it down to the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 yards to go as you look at Kentucky's defensive line. Keith Martin up there, along with Brian Williams, Jeff Smith, Stacy Burrell. A lot of fellows who have played very, very well in the first 4 games of the season. It is 2nd down and 7 from the 28. And they hand it right off up the middle to Tommy Agee. Agee's over the 45, up to midfield, and driven out of bounds here at the far side of the field. Kerry Berry was the man who finally drove him out, but that is the first down of the game. A big pickup by Tommy Agee.
Well, this is the first option of the triple option. You saw the defensive tackle work outside, and they give a true read on it. Campbell reads it perfectly, hands off, and what results in a big play. That's the first option you have to stop, Rob, is the fullback up the middle. They'll hand it off until you stop that.
That is a 23-yard gain. It's at the Kentucky 49, 1st and 10. Bo Jackson. Jackson's inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. John Grimsley and Kevin McClellan were there to bring him down.
This is the basics pitch sweep out of the wishbone right here. There's Bo Jackson, shows you the strength, goes ahead, gets the body length forward.
Bo Jackson, the sophomore out of Bessemer, Alabama, 6'1", 229 pounds. His rush for 326 yards thus far this season, averaging 6.7 yards per carry. It is just shy of the 43. Call it 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Campbell pitching back to Lionel James. James diving forward to the 40-yard line. Over there to trip him up was Stacy Burrell. It'll be a couple of yards short of a 1st down. Lionel James, not very big, 5'7", 171 pounds.
Well, there's the fake to the fullback. That was not a read play there. There's the pitch right there. The defensive end took it away. Here's Lionel James turning the corner. Big Jeff Smith, if it had a step more speed, would have made it out there that time.
3rd down. I'd call it about a yard and a half to go for the 1st down. Auburn right at the Kentucky 40-yard line. Bo Jackson. And that may be short of the 1st down.
It was definitely short, Rob, by about 2 feet.
Well, he dove off the left side, Charlie, trying to pick it up. And let's see what Coach Pat Dye decides to do at this point. It is 4th down about a half yard to go.
Well, I think he has to feel like he can make it. I think he'll go for it right here.
We are just underway here at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington on an absolutely perfect night for football.
That was great penetration by the Kentucky defense that time. If they can do it again and hold them here, it's going to give them a big psychological lift.
Well, here we go. 4th down, about a half yard. Auburn again out of that wishbone. And too much time. The clock expires on the Auburn Tigers. And that certainly is going to change the line of thinking as Pat Dye has to send his punting unit out onto the field. Costly 5-yard penalty for Auburn here in the early going. Dropping back now to do the kicking is Lewis Colbert. He's a junior from Phoenix City, Alabama, standing back around his own 40-yard line. He's averaging 41.6 yards per kick. Brian Williams standing at the Kentucky 10, back to return it for the Wildcats. Colbert gets a good snap, gets the kick away. Spiraling boot. Brian Williams let it go. It hit at the 5 and took a big bounce as far as the Wildcats are concerned. They needed that. It went into the end zone. So they'll bring it back on out to the 20 now. There's a pause in the action. What's the score? Kentucky nothing, Auburn nothing. And he'll drop back to throw. Incomplete.
He hit him right on the number, Rob. You have to catch those kind. That was a flag route. They had 2 people in the area, but he hit the receiver right in the hands, Joe Phillips.
Vic Beasley and Tommy Powell back on the coverage for the Auburn Tigers, as you get a good look at Joe Phillips along with Randy Jenkins. In the Kentucky offensive backfield, Kurt Cochran and George Adams. We've got a penalty marker, which was dropped here near the near sidelines, and let's see what it is.
I think it must be an illegal substitution or they wouldn't take it, and that is also loss of down, Rob, if it was an illegal substitution in fact.
Yeah, it's an illegal receiver downfield. So that'll move it back to the 15-yard line now, and it is a loss of down. It is second down, 15 yards to go. Kentucky out of the eye. George Adams goes in motion. Jenkins looking to his left, taken in by Rick Massey, but he's down right there. Tommy Powell was back there on the coverage. If anything, that play lost a yard.
Yes, it did. He threw the ball a little bit low for him. They had a screen set up. It was a flanker screen out there. He just threw the ball low, and Rick had to get down and catch it and dropped his knee to the ground. I'll give Kentucky credit for one thing. They are not backing up, Rob. They are attacking.
For the Wildcats with a 5-yard penalty on first down, and a loss of a yard on that pass play. That moves it back to the 14. It makes it third down, 16 yards to go. Massey out to the left. Joe Phillips comes to the right. Jenkins to put it up. And he floats it out to Cochran, incomplete. Well, the linebacker was right there, number 42, Jeff Jackson, the senior from Griffin, Georgia. Kentucky now fourth down, 16, and will have to punt it away.
But, Rob, he hit him right in the hands. That ball should have been caught, and that would have been for a first down. That was a nice touch by Randy Jenkins.
Well, both teams have now had one offensive possession, neither team able to move the ball. Paul Calhoun to do the punting for Kentucky, standing right back around his own goal line. And Trey Gaines, the freshman who returned a punt 91 yards against Tennessee, is back to take it in for Auburn. He's got it at the 41. Tries to find room at the far side and won't find any.
Well played by the coverage team.
Now they will mark it at about the 46-47, and Auburn will have the football for the second time tonight, as we have 10 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and we have no score. Auburn nothing, Kentucky nothing.
The thing that bothers you about that, Rob, is they picked up approximately 25 yards in field position on that particular exchange. It won't be long. They'll be in four-down territory with this wishbone.
Tigers up at the line of scrimmage. It is first and 10 from the 47. Chris Woods split out to the left. And they hand it off to the second man through. That looked like Bo Jackson. Not much running room at all. I beg your pardon. That was number 33 on the carry. That was Allen Evans. Allen Evans, the sophomore from Enterprise, Alabama, takes it up to the 50-yard line. Picks up about 2.5 yards. Let's call it 3. It'll be second down, 7 yards to go. Evans is in the Auburn backfield now. He's wearing number 33. Tim Jesse is in there. He's wearing number 25. Randy Campbell, number 14, is still the quarterback. And up the middle it goes to Tommy Agee. Freshman from Maplesville, Alabama, picks up a few more yards. Takes it down into Kentucky territory. As they mark it just across the 45-yard line, it's still short of a first down. It'll be third. About 1.5 yards to go for an Auburn first down. Big play.
I would look for an outside option of some sort because Kentucky has stopped them inside every time.
Third down, about 1.5 yards. And it's Campbell on the keep, and he's got the first down as he falls across the 40-yard line. Paul Calhoun made the tackle for Kentucky, but it's a first and 10 for the Tigers.
There's a ride. He's reading. This is the second part of the option. We'd seen the first part, and there's Randy Campbell. Does a good job on short yardage. I kind of figured they would come to the wide side of the field with the outside option that time because Kentucky is playing with them inside pretty stout.
First and 10 from the Kentucky 38. Auburn now with its deepest penetration of the night with 9:17 to go in the first quarter. And they hand it off on the reverse. That's Clayton Buford. Buford at the 30. Inside the 15. Down near the goal line, he's finally cut down deep in Kentucky territory. On the reverse, Clayton Buford. We will take another look at it. He is a junior out of Palatka, Florida.
Well, that was Stacy Burrell's play right there. His assignment, number 47, was to trail as deep as the deepest back. And if he'd have been as deep as the deepest back, he'd have been sitting right there to make the tackle.
Gary Baird finally over there to drive him out of bounds, and he got him just inside the 4-yard line. Call it 1st and goal from the Kentucky 4. Auburn now knocking on the door. Bo Jackson, touchdown, Auburn. 4-yard run. Bo Jackson scores his 5th touchdown of the 1983 season, and Auburn has drawn first blood.
Well, it's a double lead play. Both backs leading in front, and a great job by Bo Jackson. You see his great athletic ability right there. He slipped on the grass turf, dropped his hand down, and drove it on in the end zone.
Auburn moves out in front 6-0 with 8:58 left to go in the first quarter. And now Al Del Greco, the man who kicked 6 field goals against Kentucky last season at Auburn, is on to attempt the extra point. He drills it on through, tacks on one more. It is Auburn 7, Kentucky nothing. Now we got a timeout on the field. We'll return with more action following this. 4-yard run by Bo Jackson, and the big play that set it up, a reverse to Clayton Buford that covered about 34 yards.
And you just can't let a great football team like Auburn have the ball at the 47-yard line, even though it was on their side of the field. It's extremely difficult to stop them when they're in a wishbone attack.
Scoring drive took 5 plays, covered 53 yards, and 1:54 seconds. And Del Greco now is ready to kick off. Tony Mays going back deep. Joining him back there is Mark Logan, and here's the kick. Over to the far side of the field, that'll be Logan. Up over the 15. And finally caught from behind at about the 20-yard line, so the Wildcats will go to work. 1st and 10 right there. Jonathan Robinson made the tackle for Auburn. So Kentucky has it for the 2nd time tonight. Now trailing 7-zip. With 8:52 left to go in this first quarter.
Rob, they threw the first 3 times they had the football. Had people open, but they just dropped it. Let's see what they come out with this time. See if they try to establish George Adams.
Kentucky out of the I formation. That is Adams in motion. And Jenkins gets the pass away under a big rush. He was trying to hit Adams here, streaking down the right sideline, but it falls incomplete.
I think he was throwing that ball out of bounds in desperation, and George just made a heck of a move. He realized that he was covered on the sideline, turned up, and it almost ended up in a completion.
Well, the Auburn defensive line with a great rush, and they have got some good ones up front. Fellas like Donnie Humphrey, Dow Utman, Doug Smith, John Daly, Gerald Robinson. Here's Kentucky breaking out of the huddle. Jerry Klein over the ball at center. 2nd down and 10. The Wildcats from their own 20. On the draw, Adams makes it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And the linebacker, Greg Carr, was there to make the tackle, the junior from Birmingham.
They're an outstanding defensive football team, and I think that Kentucky has to settle down just a little bit. To me, it looks like they're grab bagging just a little right now. I think they need to settle down, go with their regular offense, and play football, so to speak, dance with the girl you brung.
Last play lost about a half yard, so let's call it 3rd down and 11. Joker Phillips out to the right. Adams and gets about a yard or 2, and then is stood up and pushed back hard. In there leading the charge looked like Vic Beasley, a safety, who came on up to make the tackle.
Well, you can block them, but they're not staying blocked very long, Rob. They're getting off those blocks in a hurry and really chasing and pursuing the football. They're an outstanding defensive football team.
4th down, 10 yards to go, and again, Paul Calhoun will step back to do the punting. Gets the kick away, a high spiraling boot. This is Trey Gaines once again, and he avoids one tackle and then cannot avoid another. First man down there was Larry Smith, the freshman out of Springfield, the brother of Jeff Smith. Gaines got away from him, but then a few other Wildcats put him away. And it's right at the 37-yard line, so that's where the Auburn offense goes to work 1st and 10. Auburn with a 7-0 lead. The Tigers trying to win their 4th game of the year. They have victories over Southern Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. The lone loss was to Texas. And the handoff comes straight on up the middle, breaking off to the right side. That is number 23, Kyle Collins. And did he ever break loose?
Well, I don't think this is an option. I think this is a design handoff to break off of the guard.
Charlie, we've got a new offensive backfield in there now. The quarterback, number 10 there, is Pat Washington, a sophomore from Mobile. And there goes Kyle Collins. You talk about balance.
That is great effort. That's what it's all about, and that's the type of football that Coach Dye teaches.
Washington, number 10, now at quarterback. 1st and 10 from the Kentucky 46. And Scott Schroeder knocks the ball away from Washington. It apparently went out of bounds over at the far sideline. Well, Scott Schroeder was in there in a hurry. That play loses a yard. Well, it's 2nd down, 11 yards to go coming up.
Had a little stunt on that time, what you call a razor stunt. They were bringing the defensive tackle and the end down to shut off the handoff, and Scott scraped right outside, took the quarterback.
Auburn now from the Kentucky 48, and this is Tim Jesse. Jesse brings it up to the 45-yard line, a gain of about 3, but that's all. Art Paslick was there, the defensive end, number 46. Going to be 3rd down. We'll call it 9 yards to go. Charlie, I'm not sure if anything happened to Randy Campbell. I do not believe it did.
I don't think so. Coach Dye plays a tremendous amount of players. He plays basically 2 offenses and 2 defenses. He'll intersperse in the line, but he'll substitute a full backfield.
Here's a 3rd down play. Let's see if Washington goes to the air. Looking back to his left. And is it complete? It is incomplete. It was intended for number 82, Jeff Parks, the sophomore from Gardendale, Alabama. Parks thought he caught it, but they say he did not.
Well, the official came all the way from the other side. The umpire is supposed to make that call, but he was still watching inside. The official facing the ball could not see, so it was the call on the far sideline for the official to come across and make the call.
Now, once again, Lewis Colbert is standing back now to do the punting. He's back around his own 40-yard line, and Brian Williams, standing at his own 10, is back to return it. And Colbert booms this one high in the air. Wobbly kick. Going to hit around the 20-yard line, take the Kentucky bounce, goes out of bounds at the 23, and the Wildcats will take over right there.
They've had very poor field position at this time. They need to make some first downs. Their defense has responded to the challenge on 2 occasions, down in 4-down territory, forced them back, made them punt twice. Now it's up to Kentucky offense to get some sustained drive going here.
Well, I thought they were going to mark it at the 23. They mark it at the 21. 1st and 10, Kentucky. And the Wildcats now shifting into an I. Kurt Cochran and George Adams right behind Randy Jenkins. This is Adams. And he cannot get around Carr. Well, he eluded the tackle of Carr and then is finally put away by number 98. Looked like Gerald Williams, the sophomore from Valley, Alabama. Gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down, 7 yards to go as you look at Kentucky's offensive huddle. Ball marked just across the Kentucky 24-yard line. The Wildcats trailing here in the first quarter with 5.5 minutes to go. It is 7-0 Auburn. Handoff goes to Kirk Cochran. There's nowhere to run at all. Number 93, Quincy Williams, was the man who came in on the tackle. Defensive end, senior from Douglasville, Georgia. And Charlie, the Wildcats just can't get the ball going at all against this Auburn defensive line.
Well, they're big and strong. They average about 265, 270 pounds across there. I'm sure that's why they came out throwing early. But they'll have to keep fighting, keep getting after it, and they'll find something that'll work. They need desperately, psychologically, to make a first down right here.
Gain of about a yard on the last play. It's 3rd down and 6. And Oliver White has got the first down. Randy Jenkins to Oliver White. John Daly was there to make the tackle, but it's a Kentucky first down.
Well, this is the way it's going to happen all night, I'm afraid. There's big pressure by the defensive lineman. Randy scrambles. He lusts to throw to Oliver White. Picks up the first down right here. That's the way it's going to be, Rob. Not too many things are going to happen sharp and concise for this Kentucky offense.
Well, the Wildcats with the ball right at their own 35-yard line now, 1st and 10. And again, Kentucky shifting into the I. Mark Wheeler comes over on the right side of the line. Joker Phillips split way out of the right. This is George Adams, gets a block, cuts back in. Over the 45, up to the 46-yard line. Greg Carr, the linebacker, along with Vic Beasley, the free safety, came up to bring him down.
This is your pitch sweep out of the I formation. Good block by Kirk Cochran right there. Good block by the guard kicking the linebacker out. George lowers his shoulder as always and gets that extra yardage. Excellently executed play.
And another Kentucky first down just across the 46-yard line. So the Wildcats now have their deepest penetration of the evening. They're still in their own territory. Jenkins. Cochran takes it into Auburn territory down to the 46-yard line. John Daly was the man who hit him and brought him down.
Well, his first option here is the big tight end over the middle. They've hit a lot on it. We've talked about it. There's the fullback in the flat, and this is a physical football game. There's some football players getting up slow. Everyone's running tough and tackling tough.
It is in Auburn territory for the first time tonight. 1st and 10 at the Tiger 46. Again, the shift into the I formation. That's Cisco Bryant in motion out of the left. Cochran rips off another 5 yards or so, takes it down to about the 40-yard line. Doug Smith, the left side defensive tackle, was there to bring him down, the senior from Bayboro, North Carolina.
I would look pretty shortly for him to bring his first defensive line back in there.
Another Kentucky first down, and you can tell just looking here at the roar of approval of this crowd at Commonwealth Stadium. The place is jammed to capacity. This is the first complete sellout of the season. Everybody is here. 1st and 10 now, the ball right at the Auburn 41. Jenkins throwing deep. Caught by Massey.
That was a great catch with a man all over it.
Rick Massey hauled it in. Jimmy Warren, the junior from Birmingham, number 45, was right there, but it was Massey who pulled it down.
All right, they go to there. I call it a Nebraska set. Get a little play-action fake. Auburn's on an all-out blitz, and here's a great catch. I'm telling you, he was covered. He just out-jumped the man and came down with the football.
Well, it is at the Auburn 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. We've got 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first quarter. Auburn leading Kentucky 7-0, but the Wildcats now threatening. Joker Phillips in motion to the right. George Adams inside the 10 and fighting his way forward down to the 7-yard line. Doug Smith was there to make the tackle along with Gerald Robinson.
The pitch sweep again right here. Last time he took it outside. Now look at him turn up in there and just slam his body into those people. I tell you, they are playing tough, aggressive football right now, and they are charged, and this crowd is charged.
It'll be 2nd down, 4 yards to go. It is marked just shy of the Auburn 7. Kentucky now with a back split behind quarterback Randy Jenkins. Kirk Cochran goes up to the middle, takes it down to about the 5, but that's all. As Auburn closes in on him very, very quickly, Dow Upman, the middle guard, was there to make the tackle.
Boy, they need to get this in, Rob, and I think you'll see the defense come out charged up, going like crazy.
Well, it is 3rd down, 3 yards to go, and what a big play this is. It is marked at the Auburn 6. They need to get to the 3 to get a first down.
Wide open, wide open.
Touchdown.
You saw it happening, Rob. They blitzed the linebacker. There was no one to cover the halfback. They had a 3-man flood out that side, and it worked to perfection.
Well, it is Randy Jenkins to George Adams. 6-yard touchdown play. Let's take another look at it.
Well, that's a great play by Randy Jenkins, and there's George Adams, sticks it in the end zone. They could not cover that particular play when they fired the linebacker. He came free, but Randy Jenkins made a great throw.
Chris Caudell is now on to attempt the extra point. Doug Martin will hold, and Caudell will attempt to tie up the football game. And he drills it through the upright. So with 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Kentucky has evened things up. Kentucky 7, Auburn 7.
Now is the time for the defense to come through, stop them stone dead, and you'll see this crowd just go crazy. That was an absolutely beautiful drive, Rob. Coming from their own 21-yard line, a 79-yard drive. They used 2 passes, caught them in blitz situations on both sides, and hit them with big plays.
Now the Wildcats appeared to really be stymied offensively. But they moved 10 plays. In 10 plays, they moved 78 yards. They take 4 minutes and 54 seconds and are on the board for the first time tonight as we are now tied up 7-7. Back to return the kickoff for Auburn. Number 33 there is Allen Evans. He's standing back there along with Brent Fullwood wearing number 22. Fullwood is the far deep man. Number 21, Ed Graham, is also back there deep. Here's Chris Caudell with the kick. Way over to the far side of the field, and Evans takes it way back in his own end zone, and very, very wisely elects not to run it out.
Well, that's a big psychological boost for that defense, too. They're going to get to start them on the 20. Now they can show their stuff.
Caudell had a slight wind at his back when he kicked off, and that helped. From the 20-yard line, the Tigers 1st and 10, and there you see the story with 1:12 to go in the first quarter. We got a lot more football to play. As you look at Jake Hallam, of Kentucky's offensive line coaches, Don Corbin right there. The offensive line getting some instructions as they're now on the sidelines, and the defense takes over. Auburn 1st and 10 from the 20. Randy Campbell is back in at quarterback. The handoff goes to Tommy Agee. Paul Calhoun in there to pull him down along with Keith Martin. Nice pickup, though, by Agee as he takes it across the 25 all the way up to the 27-yard line. A 7-yard run.
Well, they're exercising that first option real well. They're getting some good blocking in the middle out of their center and their 2 guards.
It is 2nd down and 3 yards to go as Auburn sets in that wishbone formation. Agee again trying to fight his way forward to the 30 to pick up the first down, but he is pushed back. Stacey Burrell was in there. Dave Thompson getting up off the pile. Kevin McClellan was also in on the tackle. Good look at Tommy Agee, freshman from Maplesville, Alabama. Oh, what a thrill for him last week. That 27-yard touchdown pass against Florida State right before halftime. He scored as time ran out. 3rd down and a yard to go. Big play for the Tigers. Bo Jackson, and he's upended.
He did not make it. He's about a foot short.
Frank Hare, number 56, I believe was the man who tripped him up. And it is going to be just shy of the first down. Let's see.
I believe they're going to measure, Rob.
Well, let's see if they call for the change from the far side of the field. The Auburn punting unit was ready to come on just a moment ago.
It's a quarter. Just finished the first quarter.
Well, time has run out and they will change sides, but Auburn appears to be short of the first down. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Auburn 7, Kentucky 7. We're getting ready to head into the second quarter of play. Auburn and Kentucky tied up 7-7, and the Tigers just shy of a first down. They have it 4th and inches, and they're going to have to punt it away as Lewis Colbert again has come onto the field.
Well, this has been a physical football game so far, Rob. I don't know whether the superior size and strength will wear on this Kentucky football team later on as we get deeper into the game, but they are playing extremely tough and physical right now.
So Brian Williams is standing back around his own 31-yard line to return it. Colbert gets a good snap, big rush, but he gets it away. Wobbly kick comes over to the near side, hits at the 35, and now goes out of bounds at around the 32-yard line.
Well, this is the best field position that Kentucky's had. They've started out the 20, the 20, and the 22, and all that in their own territory now at the 32-yard line.
And Kentucky's offensive unit heads out onto the field. Randy Jenkins still at quarterback. There's Jerry Claiborne. Led his team to 4 victories in the first 4 games of this 1983 campaign. Jerry Klein over the ball at center. And now the Wildcats shifting. Handoff goes straight on up the middle. Looks like Chris Derry, number 44, has just come into the game.
I believe we had an illegal formation.
Pat Thomas on the tackle for Auburn, but let's wait and see what the penalty marker is. No, it's an illegal procedure penalty against the Wildcats, so they will mark it back. Number 79 there is Donnie Humphrey, one of the real standouts on this Auburn defensive line, a senior from Huntsville. He did not play all that much last weekend against Florida State, was hobbled by a bad knee, but now he's back here tonight. Illegal procedure against the Wildcats. That'll cost Kentucky 5 yards, and it'll be first down and 15 as it's marked back to the Kentucky 27-yard line. Cisco Bryant out to the right, and Rick Massey comes here to the left. Choo-Choo Lee with his first carry of the night, and there's absolutely nowhere to run. Like Dow Upman, the nose guard, the senior from Bruton, Alabama, was right there to bring him down.
Well, I think they let those defensive linemen get a little bit too much penetration before they tried to turn them that time, and Choo-Choo had no room to move in.
Loss of 2. It'll be second down, 17 yards to go. Kentucky and Auburn tied up 7-7 here early in the second quarter. Choo-Choo Lee goes in motion to the right, and Jenkins to put it up. Now he'll run with it. Over the 30. And now takes it on out of bounds, and very, very wisely as the Auburn defense closed on him quickly. The man who finally knocked him out of bounds was Tommy Powell, freshman from Greenville, Alabama.
Well, I think they had the pass route called over here to the wide slot side that sent George Adams in motion the other way. They were sprinting this way. They had double coverage with help deep, and they had them covered up, and Randy made a smart move by just pulling the ball down and waiting until the next time. Find another chance. Don't try to force the ball.
Play gained about 6 yards. It's at the 31 now. Third down, still 11 yards to go for the Wildcats. Intercepted. Picked off and brought back to about the run on into the end zone. Touchdown. David King picked it off and took it all the way back, the junior from Fairhope, Alabama.
Well, I think he tried to force the ball into the double coverage again. It looks like he's going over there. Ball should have never been. Well, there's the problem right there. There was a busted route. Cisco Bryant started back inside, stopped on him, and the ball went whistling right in through to the defensive secondary man's hands. That was Cisco Bryant's fault, not the quarterback.
So the big defensive play turned in by David King, the left side cornerback. And Auburn moves out in front 13-7 here early in the second period. Al Del Greco now back onto the field to attempt the extra point. Gets a good snap. And it's perfect. All right, we've got a timeout here in Lexington with the score. Auburn 14, Kentucky 7.
I don't spend a lot of time up here. Just come up now and then to do commercials for this stuff. Golden Manville fiberglass insulation. Sure makes it real comfortable down there all year round. And it really saves energy, too.
And it's the same color as your hair, Dad.
Very observant, Mike.
Manville Gold insulation rebates available now at these dealers: Car Building Supply Moorhead, Central Kentucky Supply Lexington, and Hardiman Lumber Company Maysville.
If you have film or disc you haven't had developed, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall. You'll have prints at half the price of instant photography, and you can have them developed while you shop. 1 Hour Photo specializes in discs, and with their custom color system, you'll get what you saw when you took the picture. With good color and fast service on either film or disc, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall.
Wade Motor Company in Danville invites you to come down and hitch a ride on a new 84 GMC or Oldsmobile featuring the new fuel-injected 6-cylinder Cutlass Sierra and the last of the full-size Oldsmobile 98s. And don't forget to check out Wade Motors GMC conversion vans loaded with all of the extras. Treat yourself to a great ride in a GMC truck or new Oldsmobile from Wade Motor Company in Danville. Remember, you can trade with Wade.
With every new shopping center, industrial center, or apartment complex, there's a part of the design you may not notice. Many of the driveways, parking lots, and access roads were designed and built by Central Rock Company of Lexington. For over 50 years, Central Rock Company and Central Rock Paving have been the solid choice among bluegrass farms and industry alike. For free estimates and design consultation for your next project, contact Central Rock Company, 1280 Old Frankfort Pike. Central Rock Company, the solid choice.
Well, coming into this football game, Randy Jenkins had thrown only, what, 2 interceptions all season?
That's correct. And again, I think the problem was that the outside receiver, they were running a delay pattern back underneath. For some reason, he stopped. If he'd have kept coming, the ball would have been right on target. Might have been a big collision, but at least there would have not have been an interception for a touchdown.
Not sure of the exact yardage on the interception returned by David King, but I believe it was about 42, 43 yards. As you look at Pat Dye in his shirt sleeves at the opposite side of the field, Georgia native, played his college football at Georgia back in the 1950s. Deep kick goes into the end zone, and very wisely, Mark Logan will not run it out. So they'll bring the ball back out of the 20-yard line where the Wildcat offense will again take over 1st and 10. So Kentucky now has the task of building some more momentum. After it appeared to have shifted the Wildcats' way, the interception returned by King, it goes right back over to the Tigers, and they have a 7-point lead once again, 14-7.
Well, and that kind of quieted the crowd off a little bit. We need a couple of big plays here and get this crowd right back in the game.
Kentucky now shifting back into the I. Chris Derry and George Adams are the running backs. This is Adams. Nowhere to go at all. Greg Carr, the linebacker, number 54, was right in there and in there in a hurry. Carr is a good one. Team leader in tackles coming into this game with 46. Named Defensive Player of the Week in the South by UPI last week for his play in Auburn's victory over Florida State. Well, what a football game that was down at Auburn. Tigers winning 27-24, having to pull it out in the last couple of minutes. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. The ball right at the 21. And fighting his way up the middle is Chris Derry, and he does well to get about 4 yards. Fights his way up to the 25-yard line. And the Auburn defense was really hitting him. Doug Smith and Quincy Williams led the charge.
That was outstanding running. The linebacker blitz. Watch the backside linebacker blitz and hit him right at the line of scrimmage. There it is right there. He got hit. Now watch him roll off of that, roll off of another one. He's still fighting. That's the type of attitude and type of effort that's gotten this football team as far as it is, and they'll have to keep going with it.
From the 25, it's 3rd down and 5 yards to go. And incomplete, intended for George Adams. Right there on the coverage is number 41, Pat Thomas, the linebacker, a sophomore from Mobile.
I don't believe he had enough yardage to get the 1st down anyway. That's one thing you need to make sure on 3rd down. You have the proper yardage to ensure the 1st down.
That brings up 4th down and 5 yards to go. And again, Paul Calhoun comes into the game to do the punting. He's standing back around his own 10-yard line. Trey Gaines standing back around his own 30. He comes up a few steps, takes it in at the 38, and comes across the 40 to the 41. So a return of a couple of yards. The Kentucky defense down there in a hurry to cover. Don Urano led the way. But from the 41 now, Auburn goes to work with 12:22 left to go in the 2nd quarter, and the Tigers leading by a score of 14-7.
And a very critical series, Rob. Got to keep them out of the end zone here.
Split end, Chris Woods comes out of the right. Shifting now over to the opposite side is Ed West, the tight end. Campbell is the quarterback. This is Tommy Agee. Barreling forward up to the 49-yard line. Gain is up to the 48. It'll be second down and 3 yards to go. This time Clayton Buford comes out of the right side. Auburn setting in that wishbone formation. Campbell looking to the far side and throwing for Lionel James, and it's off his fingertips. Brian Williams and Scott Schroeder over there on the coverage. If Lionel James could have pulled that one in with the speed he has, he would have been gone.
It was all over. He was wide open, and this is what happened to the Auburn football team last year when Kentucky was down there. They had people open, but they either dropped them or they missed the football. And you have to have a little luck like that playing against great athletes like Kentucky's playing against today.
Well, now it's third down and 3 yards to go. So the Tigers faced with a big play. Tommy Agee, Bo Jackson, and Lionel James in that wishbone formation behind Randy Campbell. Pitch back to James, and he's caught from behind. Glenn Emerson is the man who finally rode him down. Stacy Burrell with great penetration. It is shy of the first down by a couple of yards.
That's what we were talking about right there on the pregame, Rob. In that instance, they bring the defensive end straight upfield. He made him stumble, and Glenn Emerson caught him from inside out. That's the way you play it. You have to change up the way you play the option on the wishbone.
Fine defensive work by Emerson and Burrell. Fourth down, 3 yards to go. Lewis Colbert to kick it away, standing back around his own 33. Brian Williams is back inside his 20. He's all the way back to the 12-yard line. Kentucky with another big rush. Colbert got it away. Williams with a fair catch inside the 20, inside the 15, all the way back at the 13-yard line. Now we've got a pause in the action with the score. Kentucky trailing Auburn 14-7.
Now, at C&H Ryle, the only layaway you will need this Christmas. C&H Ryle has more gift ideas than you can imagine. And just $5 down will lay away any purchase up to $500. The C&H Ryle layaway, worlds apart from the rest.
Don't let a tight budget get in the way of readying your home for winter. Buying new storm windows and insulation, building that extra room on a too small house, remodeling or making necessary home repairs. Get the money you need now at Lexington Finance. Borrow up to $15,000. With a loan from Lexington Finance, you can consolidate all your bills into one easy monthly payment. Just stop by and talk to Mr. T.C. Quisenberry at Lexington's oldest and finest finance family, Lexington Finance, 110 West Short.
You can be part of the very special kind of love between Kentucky people and their horses. Begin your visit to the 1,000-acre Kentucky Horse Park with an old-time horse-drawn tour. See the spectacular museum that you'll talk about for months. Feel at home in our fully equipped campground. And plan ahead for some of the many events coming. You can write for a complete schedule. Experience the wonders of the world of horses with a full day of unique fun at the only park dedicated to them, the Kentucky Horse Park.
I don't spend a lot of time up here. Just come up now and then to do commercials for this stuff. Golden man-built fiberglass insulation. Sure makes it real comfortable down there all year round. And it really saves energy, too.
And it's the same color as your hair, Dad.
Well, very observant, Mike.
Manville Gold Insulation rebates available now at these dealers. Pacific Building Supply Jackson, Napier's Building and Supply Hazard, and Salyersville Supply, Salyersville.
Back at Commonwealth Stadium, the Kentucky Wildcats out of a huddle up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10, the ball at the Kentucky 13. Pitch back to Choo-Choo Lee. Pulled down from behind. Back around the 10-yard line. And I'll tell you, that Auburn defense is really swarming in there. Looked like number 90, Kevin Green, a defensive end, a junior from Anniston, Alabama.
And they are hitting those backs and turning them around the other way. I think what they're trying to do right now is give George Adams a little bit of a rest. He did some good, strong running in their scoring drive.
They mark it at the 12. It'll be second down, 11 yards to go. Jenkins under a big rush. And throwing long. Incomplete, intended for Rick Massey. Back there on the coverage, number 32, Jonathan Robinson, a junior out of Camp Hill, Alabama.
Well, Massey almost went up and took that ball away again, Rob. It should have been intercepted by the defensive man. He had position on the ball, but Massey, being the great competitor he is and has that jumping ability, jumped right up. Watch this right here. Watch him go up over the top and almost snatch it out of his hands. Great competitive desire there by Rick Massey.
Well, the Wildcats deep in their own territory. It's now third down, 11 yards to go. Jenkins gets this one away to Oliver White, but he is caught from behind. And pulled down by number 40, Arthur Johnson. He's from Alabaster, Alabama. Kentucky not able to do anything offensively. And the tough thing about it is here is the field position. Ball is now at the 15-yard line. It is fourth down, 8 yards to go. Paul Calhoun standing back at his own goal line, and Auburn this time will get it with excellent field position. Trey Gaines awaiting the punt. Back at his own 38. Fine kick by Caudell. Comes across the 40 up to the 43, and a penalty marker goes down.
I think it might have been holding. He threw the flag off a late. He might have been waiting until he got there. It looked like he called it on number 2, Rob, for holding. That would have been Danny Robinson.
Well, it's a clip. Clipping against Auburn. Now that's going to move it back 15 yards. Big mark off against the Tigers. And just when I said Auburn was going to get it with good field position, what happened? Clipping against Auburn. Moves it back inside the 30, all the way back to the 27-yard line.
Well, that's a big break. That gives the Kentucky defense a little bit of breathing room. What we need now maybe is a turnover to get this crowd excited again. The touchdown interception a while ago quietened it down a little bit, and they have not been back into this game since.
Well, we have a long ways to go. Auburn leading 14-7. Still 9:17 to go in this second period. Campbell handing it off to Agee right up the middle. Agee fights his way forward to the 34-yard line. Another good pickup on first down. Gary Baird getting up off the pile. Keith Martin was in there to help him out. But the gain is up to the 34. That's a pickup of 7 yards. And Auburn continues to knock off the big yardage on first down.
Well, it seemed like on first down they're giving it to that fullback every time. There's a good read by the quarterback. And what Kentucky is expecting to do is to stop that handoff with their safety man. He's playing up there in what we call an inverted position.
Pitch it back this time. Bo Jackson. He's cut down as he comes up to the 40.
Russell Harrison that time did an outstanding job pursuing inside out from his defensive halfback position.
Russell Harrison, the sophomore from Lanham, Maryland. As you look at part of this Kentucky crowd here at Commonwealth Stadium on a perfect Saturday night for football in the month of October. Auburn picks up the first down on the carry by Jackson. It's just shy of the 40. It's at the 39-yard line. First and 10 for the Tigers. Campbell to throw. And caught here at the near sidelines. That's a completion. Taken in by number 84. That is Tommy Carroll, a split end. He's a senior out of Dunwoody, Georgia. Hasn't played too much this season, but he was in for that play.
Well, they had a 2-deep safety that time, and Terry Baird did not funnel the man inside. You've got to force the man to come inside, or if play action comes that way, the safety has to roll over. I'm not sure which way they had it set up.
It's 1st and 10 for the Tigers now at the Kentucky 41. And the handoff to Agee on 1st down. Gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards. Let's wait and see where they spot it. Keith Martin getting up out of there. They'll mark it at the 37-yard line, so call it a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Auburn with a 7-point lead, 14-7. And now moving into Kentucky territory. Clock running with about 7.5 minutes to go until halftime. Handoff goes to Lionel James. James gets it just inside the 35-yard line. Scott Schroeder on the tackle for the Wildcats. Jeff Smith getting up off the pile. And we're going to have a big 3rd down play coming up.
That's exactly right, Rob. That's what I was going to say. This is a big 3rd down play. They need to force them to at least just a field goal here. Can't let them get in the end zone with a touchdown.
They mark it right at the 35. It is 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Campbell on the keep. He's very, very close to a 1st down. Tracks it down to the 31-yard line. Scott Schroeder and Glenn Emerson on the tackle, and they're going to call for the change to come on from the far side of the field.
Well, you see Paul Calhoun come screaming in here. Watch him run right by him right there. He was responsible for the quarterback. He missed the tackle. Campbell, an excellent athlete, knew that he had to have short yardage and just turned it right straight up.
Jerry Claiborne with a concerned look from the sidelines as the chains come on from the other end of the field. What a fine fake that was, though, by Randy Campbell as he faked that handoff to Agee and then kept the football.
And it is a 1st down.
Barely. Barely, but that's good enough. 1st down Auburn at the Kentucky 31. So this drive continues now with about 6.5 minutes to go in the 1st half. Auburn 14, Kentucky 7.
Might look for a pass right here, Rob. They feel like they're in 4-down territory. They may put it up right here, see if they can get a quick one on them.
Trey Gaines goes out of the left. Ed West in tight on the right. Campbell throwing, nearly intercepted by Brian Williams. Well, Charlie, you called it, and Kentucky almost came up with the interception just off the fingertips of Brian Williams after that ball was tipped.
Well, what surprised me, they didn't use play action. I figured they would use play action. 2 chances to intercept the football right here, and that could have been a big, big play because they still have the football. They have 3 downs to make their 1st down or 2 to get in field goal position, which we're certainly probably within Greco's range right now.
2nd down and 10. The ball still at the Kentucky 31. The Wildcat defense trying to hang on as Kentucky trails by 7. Campbell inside the 30, inside the 25, and scooting forward.
Oh, stay over, baby.
Campbell going to bring up a 3rd down play, 3rd down at about 3 or 4.
That's the other little wrinkle that they have. That's what you call the trap option or the counter option. They fake the fullback one way, pull the off guard, and he just led Campbell right up through the off tackle play. Watch him fake left to the fullback. Watch the back. There's the guard pulling. Watch him lead him right up in the hole. Brian Williams almost made the play from the backside. Did make the play from the backside.
Well, they mark it just short of the 22, so it's 3rd down and call it a short 2. Campbell goes off the left side, and he should have enough for the 1st down. Wait and see when they get unpiled. Scott Schroeder was the man who tackled Randy Campbell.
I believe they're going to measure it again, Rob.
Call for the chains from the far side of the field, and we'll find out exactly how the football rests. There's the scoreboard, 5 minutes and 26 seconds to go in the 1st half. Auburn leading Kentucky 14-7. And another concerned look from head coach Jerry Claiborne. Oh, it is close again. And this one is short.
Tell me this is not a game of inches. I feel sure they'll go for it here. I do not believe they'll bring Del Greco in.
Well, part of of this capacity crowd now starting to come to its feet, hoping to fire up the Wildcat defense. 4th down and inches for the Auburn Tigers. They've got it right at the Kentucky 21-yard line.
This scares you to death. As a football coach, you got everybody bunched in there, and they may run outside with an option.
Here we go. And Bo Jackson up and over for the 1st down. Well, here we go. And Bo Jackson up and over for the 1st down. Well, that has to bring back memories of Herschel Walker, but that's what this fella is so good at. Bo Jackson out of Bessemer, Alabama, just a sophomore. Auburn's first 3-sport letterman, Charlie, in 30 years. Plays football, baseball, and track. Quite an athlete.
Boy, he is truly a great athlete, and he cleared that line so well that time. He must have went up in the air about 6 feet, because Kentucky had stacked it up pretty well.
Mark just inside the 20. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. 4:51 left to go in the 1st half. And the pitch back to Lionel James. Not much running room. Gary Baird came up to meet him. Jeff Smith was right there.
Boy, Stacy Burrell almost flapped that ball right out of the air. He was right on top of it.
But Charlie, as you know, this wishbone can be a very, very high-risk offense, but Randy Campbell does a good job. They just don't turn it over that much.
Well, I think that's designed by Coach Dye. They're really a conservative wishbone football team. Someone like Oklahoma throws the ball, they want to pitch it every time. They design ways to pitch it. Auburn's perfectly satisfied to hand it off the fullback, let the quarterback take it, do the things necessary to win.
It's at the 17-yard line. Call it 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Agee fighting his way forward up the middle. Inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. Stacy Burrell was right there to make the tackle along with Scott Schroeder.
Might look for some type of trick play. I don't think they'll throw it. It might come with a trick option of some sort or some type of reverse.
It's 3rd down, 4 yards to go. The ball right at the 14. And a big play for Auburn as Tommy Carroll is split up on the left. Ed West comes to the right. And on the keep, Campbell. Touchdown. Randy Campbell took it all the way. 14 yards.
Well, that was a trap option that they ran on short yardage a while ago with a big guard leading him up inside, and there just was absolutely no one there. The defensive end was stunning upfield. There he is, step away, fake fullback. There's the guard leading. There's the defensive end going upfield. No one to take the quarterback because of the fake. Poor tackling right there, but because of the fake to the other side, all the linebackers had flowed.
Well, Auburn has now moved in front 20-7. Randy Campbell, a 14-yard touchdown run. Tremendous effort. Here is Al Del Greco on to attempt the extra point, and he booms it through the upright. So Auburn has now moved in front by 14 points with 3:11 left to go in the 2nd quarter. It is Auburn 21, Kentucky 7.
And that was a well-executed drive that time, Rob. They missed a couple of passes, but they still had faith in their offense, stayed with their game plan, and just really took it right on down the field.
Well, we've seen plenty of scoring here in the 1st half. It started on a 4-yard touchdown run by Bo Jackson, which gave Auburn a 7-0 lead with 8:58 to go in the 1st quarter. Randy Jenkins then came back with a 6-yard touchdown pass to George Adams late in the 1st period. That tied at 7-7. But then in the 2nd quarter, Jenkins was intercepted by David King. He ran it back about 40 yards for a touchdown. Auburn took the lead 14-7. And now a 14-yard run by Campbell. It is 21-7 Tigers. Now we are getting near halftime. The Kentucky band coming out of the stands and gathering around the sidelines. Still over 3 minutes to play in this 2nd period, though, as Al Del Greco tees it up at the 40.
Well, I think there's plenty of time. If Kentucky can get it together, they have time to get a touchdown or a field goal, but they have to make sure that they do not make a mistake and give Auburn that football down deep.
Here's Del Greco with the kick. And And with that wind at his back, it's back into the end zone, and Tony Mays will not run it out. So Kentucky will start at the 20. That Auburn scoring drive covered 73 yards, 11 plays, and it took 6 minutes and 6 seconds.
First and 10, let's go! First and 10, let's go!
From the 20 now, Randy Jenkins heads out onto the field. And the Wildcat offense will try to get something going here in the closing minutes of this first half. Jerry Klein over the ball at center. Massey and Joe Phillips split out of the right. Kentucky out of an I formation as Phillips comes in motion. Jenkins fakes the pitch. Now can't get it away. Picks up about 3 yards and is hit and dropped. Dow Ottman, the nose guard, was there to make the tackle along with Greg Carr, the linebacker.
Well, they made an excellent decision that time. They had their bootleg on. They had a delayed play by the defensive end. Receiver was covered, so he just pulled it down, got it back upfield, gained a couple of yards.
Second down, 7 yards to go from the 23. Cochran and Adams still the running backs for Kentucky. Jenkins under a big rush, and he's sacked back at the 15-yard line. That was number 91, Ben Thomas, left side defensive tackle, junior out of Ashburn, Georgia. And the loss is a big one, and Randy Jenkins is still down. A little shaken up.
It acts like he might have twisted his ankle or his knee the way he's lying there right now.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's in a little bit of pain, Charlie.
All right, we're going to have a replay. Let's see if we can pick up and see what happened. Make the draw. Number 71 got beaten side, grabs him right there. Looks like he might have twisted that right knee or ankle. Looks like it might have caught twisted right there. However, they are working with his upper extremities. He might have caught a lick to the head.
And next Friday night, October 14th, the San Diego Chicken will make it appearance.
And this would be a tough place for Billy Ransdell to have to step into.
Well, Randy Jenkins was doing such a fine job this season, Charlie. What was he completing? About 62% of his passes, 62.7. It hit 54 of 86 coming into this game tonight.
Well, he had been a real catalyst for him. He had been getting a lot of good protection, but it's been kind of ragged back there tonight, and this is a big, strong Auburn team.
Jenkins now being helped to his feet by a couple of the managers. He'll have to be helped off the field. And let's see which leg he's favoring.
Well, I think he might have got a lick in the head. It looks like he's just wobbly knee to me. So I don't really think it was a knee or an ankle injury. I think he caught maybe a knee in the head or got hit hard with a hat and just kind of knocked him crazy for a few minutes.
So Jenkins has to leave the field after being sacked by Ben Thomas. And Billy Ransdell, the freshman from Elizabethtown, redshirt freshman from Elizabethtown, is into the game now to quarterback Kentucky. He's not played very much this season. Has completed 2 of 4 passes. 1 of 2 passes, rather. And penalty markers now go down to the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's what happens when you have a new quarterback in there, and the cadence changes just a little bit, causes them to get just a little ragged. There's a look at Randy Jenkins. I think he must be okay. They're talking to him, checking his eyes.
5-yard mark off against Kentucky. And now it'll be 3rd down and 19 yards to go as the ball is moved back to the 11-yard line. Ransdell has completed just 1 of 2 for 16 yards. He has been intercepted once.
Well, I don't think they'll let him throw the football down here. I think they'll probably hand it off, try to kick the ball and play defense the rest of the half.
George Adams slashing off the left side. Comes up over the 15-yard line. Greg Carr, the linebacker, and Tommy Powell, the strong safety, were there to bring him down. It'll be 4th down. Kentucky will have to kick the ball away, and we've still got a little better than a minute and a half left to go in this first half.
Now, Rob, they ought to stand there and use at least 20 seconds. Now, there goes the clock right there. Let's see how many seconds they use. They can help their defense.
Scoreboard clock now is down to 1:20, and they don't use very much of it at all.
Absolutely not, and they could have really helped their defense. Good kick.
Here's Trey Gaines over the 40, over midfield, and still going. Takes it down to the Kentucky 42-yard line. I do not believe he stepped out of bounds prior to that. Let's take another look at it.
This is excellent running right here. They had him trapped. There's Russell Harrison. He just goes right behind the wall, cuts it back inside. There's 3 missed tackles, 4 missed tackles, and they finally trip him up right there.
Well, the Tigers with excellent field position. 1st and 10 from the 42. Campbell pitching it on back. Inside the 30. Finally driven out of bounds. That was Brent Fullwood, number 22, the left halfback. Freshman from St. Cloud, Florida. Let's take another look at it.
Well, it's the trap option, and it is just giving Kentucky fits. They have not been able to adjust to it. I don't know whether it's a new play or what, but that is great balance right there. But the trap option has been the biggest play that Auburn has had tonight.
He was finally driven out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Auburn 1st and 10 now. 1 minute exactly left to go in the first half. Tommy Agee scooting forward inside the 20. I tell you, he is a tough customer to bring down. Cam Jacobs and Stacy Burrell right there. He just about squirmed away from everyone.
Well, he was hit at the line of scrimmage very solidly and got on out there for about 7.5, 8 yards.
Gain was 6 at his 2nd down and 4 as they mark it at the Kentucky 18. Here's Campbell. Cut from behind by Brian Williams. Paul Calhoun was the man who was charging in there. Williams finally put him down to the 14-yard line, but I know Paul Calhoun wanted to get him.
Well, I tell you, Brian, that's a great play coming all the way from the other side. He must have had a blitz on, but he chased Campbell down from behind. A big, big play. We'll have a replay on it. Watch him ride the fullback. Here comes Brian Williams, number 2. Fake to the fullback. Catches the quarterback from behind in good shape. 23 seconds left, Rob, and they're a critical 23 seconds.
Auburn with 2 timeouts remaining now. Kentucky still with 3, as the Tigers have used 1 right here. Pat Dye would like to get it into the end zone once more before halftime. His team would have a 3-touchdown lead, as it could go to 28-7. Tigers right now leading by 14. They have been very, very impressive, not just offensively, but also defensively in this first half.
Well, I think defense is definitely their strength. They've shut down an offense that had scored quite a few points this year, and really, except for one drive, have just smothered them, haven't given them a chance.
Auburn up to the line of scrimmage. Gaines comes to the right. Tommy Carroll goes out of the left. Campbell throwing into the end zone, incomplete. Trey Gaines was the intended receiver, but it falls incomplete.
Well, and we have an offside penalty on Stacy Burrell. He was on a blitz that time and stepped over the line just before the ball was snapped.
That'll be a 5-yard mark off against the Wildcats. The play took 4 seconds. 19 seconds now left to go in the first half.
Kind of wonder what's going on the sideline right now. This is the first time this Kentucky team's been this far behind, and they got their backs to the wall. They could go in down 21 points. Their character will be tested right here in the next 19 seconds and in the second half.
There's Joe Hicks, the referee, marking off the 5 yards. It's down to the 9-yard line now. First down, 5 yards to go.
Kentucky trying to call timeout from the sideline. I don't believe they're going to get it. Yes, they did.
Well, finally, Coach Claiborne got the timeout. Now, Kentucky will now have 2 timeouts left in this first half. As we have 19 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Auburn leading Kentucky 21-7. Coach Claiborne there, along with Bill Glazer, who coaches the defensive guards, and that, of course, number 59, John Grimsley. Kentucky's defensive captain, the man who has led this team in tackles the past 2 seasons.
I don't know what the confusion was. They had 11 people on the field. They must not have had the defense they thought necessary at the time. So Coach Claiborne was the one that was calling the timeout, or trying to get their attention to call the timeout from the sideline.
Well, if the Wildcats are to have a good chance to win this football game, as we look at Randy Jenkins now, who still seems to be a little bit shaken up. Trainer Al Green there along with him. There's a little bit better look at Randy. If the Wildcats are to have a good chance of winning this football game, a lot will be decided here in the next few seconds. Auburn sends two receivers out of the left. Agee, the lone running back behind Campbell. Campbell keeps it. Touchdown. Runs into the end zone untouched. 9-yard run by Randy Campbell, and Auburn is moved in front by a score of 27-7.
I think that was a very creative play. They used the trip formation out to the wide side of the field as Kentucky had used earlier. Then they came back around. Here it is right here. They have a man in motion, fake to the fullback. Jeff Smith took him. There's no one left to take the quarterback at all. They have a man out here on the pitch, and he runs into the end zone completely free. No one to take him.
So a 9-yard touchdown run by Randy Campbell. Mike Mann into the game to do the holding now for Auburn, and Al Del Greco moves it through the upright. So he is perfect tonight. He has kicked 4 of 4. He is now 13 of 13 on the season. He has piled up a bundle of career points at Auburn. Randy Jenkins does not look as though he will return in the first half.
Well, that's a nice pack on the back of his neck. He might have taken quite a lick. Sometimes when you take a lick like that, you just really do not know where you're at and what you're doing.
So we have just 15 seconds now to go until halftime. And again, Al Del Greco will tee it up at the 40. I was mentioning that he was piling up some career points. He has, what, 4 more here tonight now. He's got 195. Joe Scripps, the great Auburn running back, scored 216 in his career. So Del Greco very, very much within striking distance at that career point record at Auburn University.
I would think with a fine football team like this, he will have a chance to break that before the year's over.
There's Tony Mays back to return the kick along with George Adams. And Del Greco puts his foot into the ball. Kept it on the ground. Adams looked like he was going to try and pitch it back, but he brings it up to the 20-yard line.
That's exactly what he had in mind there, Rob. He was going to throw it over to this sideline. They were alert. They had it covered. He was alert, pulled it down, got it back up the field.
Well, that Auburn scoring drive, 42 yards, 5 plays. It took only 51 seconds. And the Tigers leading in this game now 28-7. As the scoreboard clock still shows 15 seconds. There's got to be something wrong there. The clock didn't start.
I think Coach Dye is calling that to their attention right now.
The one scoreboard is now completely out. Looks as though it has lost power. The one at the south end of the field is operating.
They pulled it down to 11 seconds.
I would imagine that that ought to satisfy everyone. Now it's down to 10. Now to 9. Well, Charlie, you and I well know the problems that they've had with the scoreboard clock here over the years.
Well, last year, the Kansas game, I think without either coach knowing exactly what happened, it could have cost Kentucky a victory, or it could have cost Kansas a victory.
I can remember a game against Florida a few years ago where there were problems with it. Well, it shows 9 seconds, and now Kentucky calls timeout. Billy Ransdell will still be a quarterback for this final play, or plays of the half. And he's going to come on over and talk with Jake Hallam and Jerry Claiborne.
Well, I think what they were going to do, they were going to fall on the football, and I'm not sure that's what Coach Claiborne wants to do. He wants to make sure that they spend all of this time and possibly even take a chance to get a big play. I don't know.
Well, now we're ready to go. Ransdell returns to Kentucky's huddle. We have 9 seconds on the clock. And we'll see if Billy Ransdell likes to put the ball up here in the final second. He's going deep to the near sideline. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Jimmy Warren, number 45, the junior from Birmingham. Penalty marker goes down. Rick Massey and Eric Pitts were the fellows who were streaking down the sidelines. Now we've got a holding penalty. That's the preliminary indication, and it's against the Wildcats, so the interception will stand at the 45. And with only 2 seconds now left in the half, Auburn will just fall on the football, and they're going to go to the locker room, Charlie, with a 21-point advantage.
Yes, they are. It's the game right now really should be about 14-7. The interception was a gift for 7 points, and then they got the punt return back down deep in Kentucky territory that gave them excellent field position just before halftime here. Other than those two things, but we talked about that before the game started, they need to stay away from interception. They could not have a breakdown in their kicking game. Those two things happened. It resulted in a basic 14 points.
Well, the final 3 minutes of the second quarter has taken an eternity. And as the ball is snapped here to Randy Campbell, it finally comes to an end. Well, that is the end of the first 2 quarters. We're at halftime. Auburn has a 21-point lead. That's the end of the first half with the score. Auburn 28, Kentucky 7.
I don't spend a lot of time up here. Just come up now and then to do commercials for this stuff. Golden man-built fiberglass insulation. Sure makes it real comfortable down there all year round. And it really saves energy, too.
And it's the same color as your hair, Dad.
Very observant, Mike.
Manhill Gold Insulation rebates available now at these dealers: Car Building Supply Moorhead, Blanton Brothers Supply London, and W.D. Bryant & Son Williamsburg.
For 15 years, they followed his track. A big lean guy they called Big Mac. He's the leader of the pack.
Let's get him.
McDonald's Great Big Mac. Pure lean beef, special sauce and cheese, pickles and onions.
Big Mac, please.
They're fresh off the grill, 7 stories tall. He's the most wanted of them all. Leader of the pack, Big Mac. McDonald's and Hill.
If you have film or disc you haven't had developed, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall. You'll have prints at half the price of instant photography, and you can have them developed while you shop. 1 Hour Photo specializes in discs, and with their custom color system, you'll get what you saw when you took the picture. With good color and fast service on either film or disc, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall.
It seems like today so many things are the same, and you might think there's no place to turn. Consumer Leasing doesn't think that way. They're a little bit different. They work with you personally. You can lease almost anything, large or small. Consumer Leasing, a little bit different.
Back at Commonwealth Stadium, the Kentucky Marching Band is on the field to entertain at halftime, and there are not too many happy Kentucky fans here at the intermission as Auburn leads it 28-7. It was tied 7-7 after the first quarter, but then, Charlie, that interception returned by David King and 2 touchdown runs by Randy Campbell, and Auburn has a very, very comfortable 21-point lead.
Yes, they do. And as we talked about earlier, as they were playing in the second quarter, the character of the Kentucky football team is going to be tested severely in the second half. They have to come back with their head up. They have to rejuvenate themselves. They have to do some things to get these fans behind them again. They had it going in the first quarter. They had the momentum, had the fans. They need to get it back.
Well, we've still got a long, long ways to go as the Wildcat Marching Band now begins its halftime presentation. We're at halftime, and Auburn leading Kentucky 28-7.
Harbor Freight's tool warehouse is getting bigger because their prices are getting smaller. Harbor Freight is making more room for the hordes of people who are cashing in on tiny prices like these. Harbor Freight's world-famous 40-piece socket set is just $2.99.
Tiny prices!
A heavy-duty 5-speed drill press includes motor and chuck, only $69. Harbor Freight's heavy-duty all-steel step tool is a tiny $6.95. Harbor Freight's Tool Warehouse, 1387 New Circle Road, getting bigger because the prices are smaller.
If you have film or disc you haven't had developed, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall. You'll have prints at half the price of instant photography, and you can have them developed while you shop. 1 Hour Photo specializes in discs, and with their custom color system, you'll get what you saw when you took the picture. With good color and fast service on either film or disc, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall.
Find out how you pay for stolen goods. Monday on Newscope.
Well, on a clear, cool evening in Lexington, it's halftime, and Auburn leading the Kentucky Wildcats by a score of 28-7. You know, one of the greats in the field of jazz will perform on the UK campus October 15th. The UK theater production of Whose Life Is It Anyway will be performed next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Guignol Theater. And here is more about those events.
Sunday, October 16th at 8 p.m. in Memorial Hall on the University of Kentucky campus, the UK Spotlight Jazz Series presents Lionel Hampton and Orchestra. Lionel Hampton in Memorial Hall, October 16th. Tickets are on sale now. For ticket information, call 257-8867. The University of Kentucky Theater presents Whose Life Is It Anyway?
Major in college or something? Now, I was a sculptor, and that was what my life was all about.
And how do you know you won't find new work unless you try?
Because the trying isn't important. The work is important. The work, not the credit and not the reward. And it is the work that I will never do again.
October 6th, 7th, and 8th, 13th, 14th, and 15th.
The Wildcat Marching Band continuing with its halftime entertainment as Auburn leads Kentucky here at the intermission by a score of 28-7. We'll be back with the start of the second half in just a moment.
Some for sale signs seem to blend into the scenery. Ours stand out. Some have been around long enough to become local landmarks. Our signs sell houses. Some have been in the ground so long they seem to have put down roots. Our signs do the job and move. If you have all the time in the world to sell your home, try someone else's sign. But if you're serious about selling, list your home with us. Our sign says, done sold.
I don't spend a lot of time up here. Just come up now and then to do commercials for this stuff. Golden Manville fiberglass insulation. Sure makes it real comfortable down there all year round. And it really saves energy, too.
And it's the same color as your hair, Dad.
Well, very observant, Mike.
Manville Gold Insulation rebates available now at these dealers. Northside Lumber Company, North Corbin, Lyons Lumber Company, Frankfort, and Stratton Lumber Company, Nicholasville.
Well, we are getting ready to begin the second half of play. Auburn will be kicking off as Al Del Greco will tee it up. You look at Pat Dye at the opposite side of the field. Right now, his team leading in this ball game by 21 points. Auburn 28, Kentucky 7. And as far as the first half stats are concerned, I guess you could say, Charlie, they reflect the score. Auburn with 12 first downs, Kentucky with 5. The total yardage, Auburn with 231 yards, Kentucky with 92.
Well, they certainly dominated the game at this time, especially in the second quarter. First quarter, it was a fairly even ball game, but they did shut Kentucky down. We're going to find out what kind of character this Kentucky team has, see if they can come back. I'm sure Coach Claiborne really got after them at halftime because they've been their own worst enemy. It hasn't been, well, it has been Auburn, but at the same time, without the mistake in the passing game, without the mistake in the punting game, it very well could be a 14-7, maybe a 17-7 ball game right now.
Now there's Jerry Claiborne as he sends his team out onto the field. Remember, Kentucky won the toss just prior to the start of the game and elected to go with the second half option. Auburn then took the football to start the game. Kentucky will now take the football to start the second half. Going back deep to return the kick for the Wildcats, Mark Logan over to the far side, and Tony Mays comes here to the near side as Al Del Greco is set to go. Low kick, line drive into the end zone and on through, and they'll bring it out of the 20.
Well, I don't think we've had a chance to return but one tonight, Rob, and George Adams did that. It was a low kick just before halftime there. They're just trying to squib it down the field, and that is a great weapon when you know your kickoff man can kick it out of the end zone every time.
I remember Randy Jenkins was shaken up in the first half of play, and Bill Ransdell will still be the Kentucky quarterback. Redshirt freshman out of Elizabethtown, 6 feet, 195 pounds.
Jenkins is on the sideline. I see him down on the sideline, so he may be able for action later on if needed.
And he is on his feet. Joker Phillips in motion. Kentucky 1st and 10 from the 20. Ransdell throwing for Phillips. Overthrown. Back on the coverage was David King, the left side cornerback.
Well, I certainly like to see that. They're showing great confidence in the young player. This should give him confidence. He'll get back there, take a few lumps. He is an excellent talent throwing the football. I think the thing that happened to him right there, he's a little bit shorter than Randy is, and he could not see over those big linemen. He had a wide open Joker Phillips.
So let's see what Bill Ransdell can come up with now on 2nd and 10. Eric Pitts split out of the left along with Joe Phillips. Phillips again in motion. Cochran and Adams are the running backs. Ransdell down the middle to Phillips. And he's hit and dropped immediately, but that's a Kentucky first down. Vic Beasley, the free safety, was the man who came up to make the tackle, the junior from Adairsville, Georgia. First down, Kentucky.
Little fake here. Now watch him drill this ball. He has a major league arm. Good quick release. Drills it right in there to Joker Phillips. Joe almost broke the tackle, but not quite.
There's Randy Jenkins looking on. Seems to be in a little bit better shape than when he left the game in the first half. It's at the 34, 1st and 10 for Kentucky. Kirk Cochran. And Donnie Humphrey was right there to meet him. The big senior from Huntsville, 6'2", 275 pounds, who had been bothered by that bad knee, but is playing very, very well here tonight.
He has played extremely well. A lot of times he's containing the quarterback on some of the sprint out passes, and he also put a tremendous amount of pressure on him.
Well, it's at the 33-yard line. That's a loss of a yard. It's 2nd down, 11 yards to go. Massey out of the left. This time Phillips comes to the right. Adams is wing to the left, and Cochran is right behind Ransdell. Big rush. Ransdell will not get out of it. Number 93, Quincy Williams, the senior from Douglasville, Georgia, was the first man there.
Certainly in that situation, he could not see his receivers. He had an open receiver, but the big giants, the big trees up front, had him closed off. He brought the ball down. He was in trouble at that time, and then his pocket collapsed.
Loss is back at the 29-yard line. That is a loss of 4. It is 3rd down and 15 yards to go now. Kentucky's offense trying to get on track here at the start of the 3rd quarter. The Wildcats trailing Auburn 28-7. Ransdell to put it up again. Big rush. Got it away to George Adams. Spinning forward, comes across the 30 up to the 32-yard line, but that is all. Greg Carr and Jimmy Warren were there to finally put him down. But watch number 93, Quincy Williams, as he puts on the rush, Charlie, and then nearly makes the tackle on Adams.
Well, they had a double screen on that time, Rob. He had the option to screen to the fullback and or back to the tailback side. Excellent running by George Adams there, and you're right. Quincy put pressure on the passer and then on the runner.
Paul Calhoun to kick it away. He got a high snap that gets the kickoff. Trey Gaines at the 30, and he's hit immediately. Penalty markers go down. Russell Hairston was the man downfield to hit him. And did Hairston give him enough room?
That's exactly what they're calling. I think they're saying that he did not give him the necessary 2 yards, which is a new rule this year.
Well, as you know, Charlie, this is a judgment call on the part of the officials. Now, how do you call that? How do you make the judgment?
Well, they made the judgment, and it was very, very close, but in my opinion, they were right in that particular situation. Let's look at it one more time. We're really going to slow it down. Checking your screen. There's 2 yards right there. There's 1 yard right there, so it was definitely a good call, Rob.
And it goes against the Wildcats.
Excellent camera work right there by our people.
Russell Hairston putting the hit on Trey Gaines, but the penalty moves it up to the 45-yard line where it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Randy Campbell with a long count, and as he has done so many times tonight, he hands it off to Tommy Agee on 1st and 10, straight on up the middle.
Well, they shut him down. I shouldn't say shut him down, but they held him to a minimal amount of yardage that time, and that's what they have to do. Now they have to do that, plus stop the quarterback, plus stop the pitch.
Gain of a couple of yards to the 47. It's 2nd down and 8 yards to go. We've got just over 12 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Auburn 28, Kentucky 7, in front of a full house at Commonwealth Stadium. 57,989, a record crowd here tonight. Campbell, another long count. This time the pitch back to Bo Jackson. Got away from Brian Williams and just kept on going. Well, Brian Williams was over there, then Paul Calhoun and Keith Martin, and Bo Jackson is a tough guy to tackle.
Well, this is a trap option. Watch your guard pull. They've been running early. Quick pressure by Stacy Burrell on the quarterback. Missed tackle by the defensive tackle. Missed tackle by Brian Williams. Missed tackle by Paul Calhoun. You can't miss a great back that many times or he's going to break one for the big one.
It is 3rd down and 4 yards to go. That was a pickup of 4 yards to the Kentucky 49. 3rd and 4. Campbell to Jackson. Trying to get the 1st down. He's got it. Inside the 45. Jeff Smith. Glenn Emerson over there on the tackle. Keith Martin also in on the play. We were talking earlier about what a great athlete Bo Jackson is, and certainly he's got good hands, an excellent blocker. Last season, the Tigers simply did not lose when they were able to get the ball to him. He was drafted, Charlie, by the New York Yankees back in 1982. He turned down a 6-figure salary, reportedly, to play football at Auburn.
I promise you, when he graduates, he's going to have some bargaining power.
1st and 10 from the Kentucky 44. Campbell to throw. Taken in by Buford. Inside the 20. Ridden down from behind by Brian Williams. Russell Hairston was also there. Well, big pass play, though, from Randy Campbell to Buford, Clayton Buford.
Yes, it was. They had Carmichael Caldwell out here one-on-one. He slipped a little bit, drives to the ball. There he tried to tackle the football instead of tackling the man. Here comes Hairston and Brian Williams in to clean up.
And the gain is down to the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. They can simply blow this game wide open with a touchdown here. Bo Jackson inside the 10, still going. Touchdown. What a run by Bo Jackson. 16 yards. He just kept breaking tackles.
Well, we're going right down on ground level here. Now, you watch him hit these players, bounce off, bang, 1, 2, 3, comes out of Amerson's grasp, 4, shucks off Kerry Baird, 5. That's why he gets all the accolades he gets.
And Jerry Claiborne looking on, now watching his team fall behind 34-7. Al Del Greco is into the game to attempt the extra point. As you look at Pat Dye over on the far sidelines, his team firmly in the driver's seat. And the extra point is good. So Del Greco with another conversion. Auburn has now moved in front by 28 points. Auburn 35, Kentucky 7. We get a timeout. We'll return with more action following this.
Now, at C&H Ryle, the only layaway you will need this Christmas. C&H Ryle has more gift ideas than you can imagine. And just $5 down will lay away any purchase up to $500. The C&H Ryle layaway, worlds apart from the rest.
If you have film or disc you haven't had developed, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall. You'll have prints at half the price of instant photography, and you can have them developed while you shop. 1 Hour Photo specializes in discs, and with their custom color system, you'll get what you saw when you took the picture. With good color and fast service on either film or disc, you should go to 1 Hour Photo in Fayette Mall.
Bo Jackson has just scored for Auburn. You know, last weekend, Charlie, he rushed for 123 yards against Florida State, and he got 58 of those yards after first contact was made.
Well, that's just absolutely excellent effort and desire right there. That's a coach's dream when a young man will lay his body on the line and give you effort like that. You can coach any of them.
The touchdown coming with 10:44 left to go in the third quarter. Jackson a 16-yard gallop, and it is now 35-7 Tigers. Del Greco to kick off once again. And it's a squib kick down to the near side. It went out of bounds down around the 1-yard line. He tried to get it into the end zone low. This time he couldn't do it, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty.
This might give Kentucky a chance for a return right here, depending on how he kicks it. But they've only had the chance at one return, and that was the squib kick earlier when George Adams returned it.
Auburn's scoring drive covered 55 yards. It took 5 plays. And it took the Tigers only 1 minute 46 seconds to get it into the end zone. Now the Kentucky band trying to bring this capacity crowd to life.
That football team needs all the help it can get right now. Certainly if the fans will get up and really get behind them, maybe it can charge them a little bit.
Since midway through the first quarter, it has been all Auburn. And the Tigers now have a commanding 35-7 advantage. Del Greco once again, this time from the 35. Mark Logan going to bring it out of the end zone. I would not say that is very wide. Well, he got it up to the 20-yard line.
Well, that happens sometime when you have a great kicker like Del Greco. The kick coverage team will relax just a little bit, and they relax, and he almost made it around the corner.
They mark it at the 19. That's where they say he stepped out. There's a good look at Mark Logan. Freshman out of Bryan Station High School right here in Lexington. 1st and 10 for Kentucky. The Wildcats not with very good field position at all. They take over at their own 19. And Billy Ransell is still a quarterback. George Adams, nothing at all. A host of white shirts in there. Harold Hallman, and at nose guard, was in there. Doug Smith getting up out of there, the left side tackle. Gain of about 1.5 yards. Let's call it 2nd down, 8 yards to go from the 21. Pitts and Phillips are split out of the left, and now this is Joker Phillips in motion. Big rush. And Ransell is finally sacked by Greg Carr, the linebacker. Greg Carr, the junior from Birmingham, back there to get him at about the 17-yard line. Gerald Williams, the defensive tackle number 98, is the man who puts on the initial pressure.
I mean, he came across the line in a hurry. That's a big tackle contained in the quarterback, and that's the book on Billy Ransell right there, that he might not have quick enough feet to get outside and to get out of trouble such as that.
Loss is back to the 17. That's a loss of 4. Call it 3rd down and 12. As Rick Massey this time is split way out to the left. George Adams on a wing. Phillips is on a wing to the right. Ransell throwing to the far side to Massey, who is wide open, and then he goes down. 1st down, Kentucky.
Well, that was a big play and really a well-thrown football. This is what you call a flag route, but this is a hard throw. He's sprinting right, throws way back across the field, and as you said, Massey was wide open. Keep your feet, Rick. Be a runner once you catch a football.
So the gain is up to the 37. It is 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Ransell pitching it on back to George Adams. Gets a block, goes across the 40, up to midfield. Fine run by George Adams.
I think there was a mistake in the Kentucky defense that time. I did not see anyone on the line of... Look here. The first man on the line of scrimmage is a defensive tackle. Someone had moved the wrong way. Good block by Kurt Cochran. There goes George, high-stepping, get down behind your pads, good run, good blocking.
And I'll tell you, George Adams put the hurt on Nat Caesar, the man who brought him down. Nat Caesar, a junior out of Valdosta, Georgia, was the man that George was running over. Caesar's a little bit slow getting up.
They're giving him a little ammonia right there, putting a sniffer under his nose, trying to get him back too. Must have a few cobwebs. George did turn up that field, and he's big and strong now. And when he hits you, he can rattle you pretty good.
Well, Caesar appears to be all right, but he's going to go on out of the lineup.
Those legs look a little wobbly to me there, Rob.
8:51 left to go in the third quarter. Auburn leading Kentucky 35-7. It was 28-7 Tigers at halftime. It is marked just across midfield. 1st and 10 Kentucky. Phillips out of the left, Rick Massey to the right. Ransell lost the snap and got it back right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, it might be a good idea because they had a fierce pass rush coming. They were coming right on in the backfield. We're going to take another look at it. Watch the ball pop up right there, hit his chest. He was fortunate to get it. Here's the big tackle coming outside. Very alert play by the linebacker, or they'd have been by him. He might have made some decent yardage there.
And that was Greg Carr, again, the linebacker, in on him in a hurry. 2nd down and 10 from the 50. Ransell throwing, and Tony Mays was not looking. He threw it behind him.
Well, they're going to bring a tremendous amount of pressure on this young quarterback. They had people right in his face. However, that's exactly the same pass that Randy Jenkins hit for the touchdown earlier.
George Adams coming back into the Kentucky lineup, and Tony Mays comes on out. Oliver White now comes to the sideline. Massey split out of the left. They put Adams on a wing and Phillips on a wing, and Kurt Cochran is behind Ransell. Down the middle, caught by Mark Wheeler. Inside the 30. He's going to score. Touchdown. A 50-yard touchdown pass from Bill Ransell to Mark Wheeler. And Kentucky has its 2nd touchdown of the night.
Well, an excellent pass play. Watch him. He's going to hit the big tight end coming underneath. There, you're right. You're getting the quarterback's point of view right here. Watch the tight end working across. He hits him right there. Gets a good block. It might be Massey. Yes, Rick Massey gets the key block right there, and he hoofs it on in the end zone. Excellent execution on the pass play.
And Chris Caudell comes on now to attempt the extra point as Mark Wheeler sits down on the bench and gets a little rest. Here's the kick by Caudell. It is perfect. So Kentucky strikes back. 7:50 left to go in the third period. And the Auburn lead is cut back to 21 points. So as a pause in the action with the score, Auburn 35, Kentucky 14.
Does your copier need a repairman standing by for emergencies? Is your copier repairman at your place more than his? Then it's time for a Panasonic. All Panasonic copiers from our reduction copier on down use advanced electronics and are engineered to make thousands of copies without a break. So if your copier repairman's become a permanent fixture, it's time for a Panasonic copier.
Call Viking Office Products for a free demonstration.
You see them throughout Lexington and the Bluegrass. New roads are springing up in town and on Bluegrass farms. Many of these new thoroughfares were built by Central Rock Company, the company with a reputation as solid as a rock for over 50 years. Central Rock Company, along with Central Rock Paving, provide a solid foundation for farm, commercial, and highway applications. Call 252-2361 or 266-2169 for free estimates and design information. Central Rock Company, 1280 Old Frankfort Pike, the solid choice.
Well, the Kentucky Wildcats have served notice that they are not going to give up. If you look at the Kentucky bench, Kurt Cochran down there along with Eric Pitts, Bob Shirtless with number 51.
Well, I was impressed with Ransdell in a couple of situations the past 2 drives. He has really thrown the football in there with authority, even though he's had some pressure, and he does not have that much game experience. He's showing a lot of poise.
A 50-yard touchdown pass from Bill Ransdell to Mark Wheeler, and when Wheeler got it, he showed what he could do with it.
He sure did. He showed outstanding speed for a big tight end.
Well, Kentucky's scoring drive, 7 plays, 81 yards. Drive started at the 19. It took 2 minutes and 48 seconds. And the kick by Caudell goes over to the far side of the field. And they'll bring it back on out of the 20-yard line, where Auburn will take over first down and 10 yards to go. Crowd now trying to fire up this Kentucky defensive unit as they get on their feet all over Commonwealth Stadium. Not much to get there. Kyle Collins carried the ball for Auburn. No gain. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go. Back in at quarterback is Pat Washington, sophomore out of Mobile, Alabama. Played on 1 series in the first half.
Well, that was a big hit by John Grinsley that time. He made a strong hit.
It is second down and 10 from the 20. And Washington making his way up to the 23. John Dumball got him low. Let's take another look at it.
All right, here's the trapped option that had been giving Kentucky so many problems with. There goes Stacy Burrell taking the pitch. There's a good play by the defensive end, taking the quarterback, and they shut it down for about a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Well, they mark it between the 23 and 24-yard line. So it is third down and 6 yards to go for Auburn. Washington gets it away, and Brian Williams is right there. Well, they got the pass away to Allen Evans, but Brian Williams was all over Evans.
All right, Brian Williams, of course, there's Stacy Burrell, and we talked about before the game, great play by Brian Williams. There's Kevin McClellan right out there, but these defensive ends, they've turned them loose a little bit more in this second half, and they are quick, putting pressure on the quarterback and the runner.
Well, Pat Williams, who came on to quarterback that series, could not get the Tigers going at all. The Kentucky defense fired up. Lewis Colbert back to do the punting. Brian Williams standing at his own 45 to return it. Kick is short, hits at the 40 and takes a Kentucky bounce. And it'll be blown dead at about the Auburn 37. Charlie will get it with excellent field position.
Well, this is the best field position they've had tonight. The crowd's very much back into the game. If they can do something with this, Auburn has a problem on their hand if they get a score right here. This will charge them up.
It's at the 37-yard line, first and 10 for Kentucky. 2-2 lead, tripped up in the backfield, and a fine defensive play by Tommy Powell, the freshman from Greenville, Alabama. Play lost about a yard. It'll be second down, 11 yards to go.
I'm not sure if there's a breakdown in the formation, but they were one man short in terms of being able to run that sweep. There's no one that could block the defensive end.
Well, at a loss of 2, it's second down and 12. Clock running with 5:13 to go in the third quarter. Kentucky just scored on a 50-yard pass play from Ransdell to Wheeler. The Wildcats would like to cash in again. Ransdell gets it away. A fight for the ball. It is ruled incomplete. And Bill Ransdell threw that one as he was going down.
Be honest with you, Rob, I thought he was down. I really thought that the referee would, in that particular case, call the ball dead.
Yeah, he was very, very close to having a knee down, but they say he got it away, and it falls incomplete.
All right, we'll take a little look right here. There's the knee on the ground. Yes, that ball should have been dead right there.
So Kentucky gets a break, but it's still third down and 12 yards to go from the 39. Ransdell gets away and is put down back at the 41-yard line. Auburn with another big rush. Dow Ottman, great car in there. John Daly putting on the pressure.
Well, and I'm sure that there's a little bit of a timing problem between the quarterbacks and the receivers. I doubt seriously if Bill Ransdell has had an opportunity to work that often with the first-team receivers.
Well, we have to be wondering if we'll see Randy Jenkins again in the second half. He appears to be all right. Here's the kick by Paul Calhoun on 4th and 14. It goes on into the end zone, and Auburn will start from its 20-yard line. So maybe on the next offensive series, Randy Jenkins will return. Remember, he was shaken up back in the first half.
Well, you have to admire Billy Ransdell. He's in the ball game. He came in under some very adverse conditions, and he has put 7 points on the board. And I think we'll see a lot more of this young man as the year goes along to get him some experience, because Randy will graduate this year.
Well, Pat Dye is going to stick with quarterback Pat Washington, the sophomore. 1st and 10 from the 20. Handed off straight up the middle. Not much running room at all. That was Tommy Agee. He was cracking off that big yardage in the first half, but not very much on first down this time.
Well, this is the Zion handoff. He was trying to bend it backside and ran right into Frank Hare right there.
Good defensive play by Frank Hare. A gain of a yard. It brings up 2nd down, 9 yards to go. 3:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. Auburn leading Kentucky 35-14. Bo Jackson comes up to the 25-yard line, and that's all. And the last man getting up off the pile is John Grimsley. Glenn Emerson was also there. Going to be 3rd down and 5 yards to go. There's a good look at Bo Jackson, the sophomore from Bessemer.
Well, it didn't look like he was going to get anything, and he still ground out 5 yards that time.
He is a tough customer. 3rd down and 5 from the 25. And it's caught by Tommy Carroll over at the far side of the field. That'll be enough for the 1st down.
Well, that's tough on that man out there. He's one-on-one. He has the entire field of coverage to cover. They just sprint out right here, hit the short out. Kerry Beard has him one-on-one out there. Reacts to the football, but it's a little bit too late.
Gain is up to the 33, an 8-yard pass play from Washington to Carroll. Pat Dye in his shirt sleeves. On a cool night, but it's not cold. Very comfortable here at Commonwealth Stadium. Great night to watch a football game. So far, it's been a whole lot better for Auburn. 1st and 10 from the 33. There is Agee again on 1st down. Penalty markers and whistles all over the field. Well, they umpile on the legal procedure against the Tigers. And I imagine Kentucky will take it and mark it back 5 yards. Despite the fact that that was just a short game by Agee.
All right, it'll be the right offensive tackle here, Rob. Watch him up there. There's your movement right there, just a hair before the snap. That's what cost them the penalty. I keep looking for that reverse to come back. They had good success with it. It was a big play for them. I look for them to come back before this half is over.
Randy Jenkins looking on, waiting for Kentucky's next offensive series, perhaps. 1st down and 15 now from the 28. Washington gets it away and incomplete. Bo Jackson was streaking down the right sidelines, but it went through his hands. Kerry Baird is back there on the coverage.
Well, Kerry had gone with the tight end, had broken the tight end down through the middle. He was having to cover him deep, and they're swinging Bo Jackson out of the backfield. Has to be the defensive end's coverage in that situation. He just did not pick him up. He was wide open.
So now it's 2nd down. 15 yards to go for the Tigers as they work from their own 28. Clock stop with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Auburn still with a comfortable 21-point lead over Kentucky. 35-14. Double wide receivers here to the left. Washington to throw again. Incomplete. Intended for Tommy Carroll over the middle. So it falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down and 15 yards to go.
What would really be nice here, Rob, is for that Kentucky defense to come up with a 7-pointer just like the Auburn defense did.
Kentucky still in a deep hole, needing 21 points to get even. Figure with one good break, he could get back in this football game. Washington, in and out of the hands of Bo Jackson.
Well, I guess we were too nice to him, talking about what a great athlete he was, and he's dropped 2 in a row. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, what did I say? Good hands, excellent blocker.
Well, he is. They may feel that they've got enough of a lead right now, or they got so far ahead, they might have relaxed a little bit. And that'll happen to you sometime when you jump out to a big league. You relax and you don't function. You don't have the intensity that you need.
Lewis Colbert to punt it away, and Brian Williams is standing back at his 35 to return it. Good snap. Russell Hairston tried for the block but didn't get it. Williams comes back over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Is hit hard, hangs onto the football. Good kick coverage by Auburn. Down there, number 15, Freddie Jones.
And they have decent field position again, Rob. They couldn't do anything with a real good field position. Let's see if they can work something out with this.
Well, let's check Kentucky's offensive huddle now, and it is still Bill Ransel. So Randy Jenkins remains on the sideline. And it looks like someone moved on Kentucky's offensive line.
Left offensive tackle and left offensive guard both moved.
So as you said, Charlie, good field position, but this will end up costing the Wildcats 5 yards.
Well, again, that's the type of thing that'll happen once in a while when you put another quarterback in there. His cadence changes a little bit. The flexion of his voice is a little bit different. You work them to try to get them the same, but when you're in a ball game, the excitement and everything, sometimes they'll break it, and that's what happens.
Well, the mark-off is from the 41 back to the 36, and it's first down and 15 yards to go. Time starting to get short here in the third period. 2 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in the quarter. Auburn 35, Kentucky 14. Kentucky comes up to the line of scrimmage now. We've got another holdup. Over at the Kentucky sidelines, apparently Coach Claiborne wanting an explanation on something.
I think also that the official was trying to move the Kentucky coaches and the Kentucky players back just a little bit.
Now we're ready to go. Massey goes out of the left. Joe Phillips comes here to the right. First and 15 from the 36. And Ransel again overthrows Joe Phillips here at the near sideline. David King was there on the coverage for Auburn.
Well, the timing was there that time. He just overthrew it a little bit. That's the second time on that particular pass play that has happened to him. Might be something that he needs to work on during the week.
Kentucky trailed 28-7 at halftime, then fell behind 35-7. The Wildcats have come back to make it 35-14. But they're still in a big, big hole here late in the third quarter. Ransel, Cisco Bryant wide open, and they're going to call it a catch. They call it a catch at the 47-yard line.
Well, the official made a mistake. He stopped the clock. We have a replay here. Good snap throw right here. Hits him right in the hands. Excellent timing on the play. Kicked it up. Watch him pull it back inside. The clock should not have been stopped.
It comes up to the 47-yard line. It is still short of a first down by about 4 yards. Fine play by Cisco Bryant to hang on to that football. Third down and 4 from the 47. Right down the middle to Oliver White. And he is stacked up by Tommy Powell. Also there was Jeff Jackson, the linebacker, but that's a Kentucky first down.
Well, this is the same play they hit for a touchdown earlier. The tight end coming across the middle. Excellent throw in there. And Oliver White is a load when he catches that football. Watch him fight for that extra yardage.
It's at the Auburn 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats with 1:20 now left to go in this third quarter. Kentucky shifting in the backfield. Cornell Burbage split out of the left. Here's the handoff to Adams. He's got running room. Inside the 35. First down Kentucky as George Adams takes it down to the 30-yard line.
Well, and
Jim Bowen was there on the tackle.
You have to give Kirk Cochran credit for this. Watch him knife the big defensive end down right there. He tried to jump over Kurt on the cut block. George breaks it outside, makes a good move right there, and then again, as he always does, turns the ball straight up the field, get that extra yardage.
Another Kentucky first down as the carry was down to the Auburn 29, and we've got an Auburn player down on the field. That's number 91, Ben Thomas, a junior from Ashburn, Georgia.
He's the one that came flying over the top trying to make the play on the quarterback, and the one that Cochran cut his legs out from under. I think that's twice or three times that's happened where they're coming over the top. These Kentucky fullbacks may have to take them on a little bit higher to keep them from getting over the top, because he almost got to Ramsdell that time.
There's Chris Caudell working with his leg on the sideline as Ben Thomas makes it off the field under his own power. I think he was just a little bit shaken up.
He's favoring that right ankle just a little bit there. We'll probably see him back in the game, though.
So Kentucky now with a first down at the Auburn 29-yard line, and we are getting very late in the third period. Down under a minute now. 57 seconds to go in the quarter. Ramsdell to throw. And it's caught by Joe Phillips. Phillips fighting his way forward down to the 2-yard line.
Boy, am I impressed with Ramsdell on that play. That was not his primary receiver. They broke the coverage, and Joker Phillips was wide open down the middle, and he saw it and nailed it. They start Joker inside in motion, driving into the middle to hold the safety. The tight end's his primary. Watch him go to Joe Phillips, though. An excellent, tough running by Joe Phillips. Watch him go to the goal line. He couldn't quite make it. That's a good tackle right there, but good effort by both young men.
It is at the 2-yard line. First and goal. Kirk Cochran trying to take it up the middle. He did not get into the end zone. Just short. Number 42, Jeff Jackson, the linebacker, was there on the tackle for Auburn.
Looks like we're about a yard short, Rob, maybe a yard and a half.
Kentucky trying to fight its way back into this football game after trailing 35-7. It is now 35-14. A touchdown here as time runs out in the third quarter. A touchdown here would make it 35-21. And the game would still be very, very winnable. So we got a long ways to go. Still 1 quarter to play. That's the end of the third period with the score. Auburn 35, Kentucky 14.
I don't spend a lot of time up here. Just come up now and then to do commercials for this stuff. Golden man-built fiberglass insulation. Sure makes it real comfortable down there all year round. And it really saves energy, too.
And it's the same color as your hair, Dad.
Well, very observant, Mike.
Manville Gold insulation rebates available now at these dealers: Car Building Supply Moorhead, Lawson and Crane Lumber Company West Liberty, and Warren Lumber Company Mount Sterling.
Did you know at Mid-South Dental Centers now you can get dentures or partials that are right for you at a price you can afford and in one day? They have personalized, characterized, and standard dentures and all types of partials, and do most types of general dentistry for the rest of your family. Don't let your smile embarrass you any longer. Call the Mid-South Dental Center at 365 Main Street in downtown Hazard. Phone 439-5888 for Dr. Roger McAlpin, DMD.
Well, there's the story as we head into the fourth quarter. 35-14 Auburn, but the Wildcats have not given up. And right now they've got it down at the Auburn 1-yard line. It is second down and goal.
Big play. They need to get this ball in right here. I think they'll go for it on all 4 downs, Rob, if they don't make it earlier.
Here's Ramsdell trying to bootleg in for the touchdown. But he did not get there. Ramsdell almost slipped as he countered back around the 4. Luckily for the Wildcats, he did not.
We had a lot of penetration on the play. He almost got caught back at the 5-yard line.
Well, now it's a third down play, and it's still at the 1. About a yard away, 3rd and goal at the 1.
You want to take bets on this being George Adams up and over the top?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Adams, touchdown. Well, it didn't go over the top, but it went to George Adams, and he got the touchdown, and that's really all that matters for Kentucky.
Well, I think you have to give George credit on that because, again, the left defensive tackle, the man over our right offensive tackle, had big penetration. He saw he did not have a chance to go up and over. He broke it outside and just did get it across the goal line.
A 1-yard touchdown run by George Adams. Kentucky is now drawn within 15 points. And Chris Caudell will try to pull his team 1 point closer. Doug Martin to hold. And the kick by Caudell is perfect. All right, we've still got 14 minutes and 18 seconds left in this game, and Kentucky now trails by just 14. Timeout in Lexington with the score, Auburn 35, Kentucky 21.
Now, at C&H Ryle, the only layaway you will need this Christmas. C&H Ryle has more gift ideas than you can imagine. And just $5 down will lay away any purchase up to $500. The C&H Ryle layaway, worlds apart from the rest.
You can be part of the very special kind of love between Kentucky people and their horses. Begin your visit to the 1,000-acre Kentucky Horse Park with an old-time horse-drawn tour. See the spectacular museum that you'll talk about for months. Feel at home in our fully equipped campground. And plan ahead for some of the many events coming. You can write for a complete schedule. Experience the wonders of the world of horses with a full day of unique fun at the only park dedicated to them, the Kentucky Horse Park.
Well, up until the midway point of this third quarter, it had been all Auburn, but Kentucky has battled back a 50-yard touchdown pass from Bill Ransel to Mark Wheeler. That made it 35-14. George Adams, a short touchdown run. Now it's 35-21. And Charlie, we got a football game. Pat Dye's got to be concerned.
Well, I'm sure that he is very, very concerned because he had the momentum and really had the game. But this Kentucky football team is coming back and coming back strong.
Chris Caudell seeing it up at the 40. The Kentucky scoring drive, 59 yards, 7 plays, and it took 3 minutes and 15 seconds. No one is left. Everybody is still here at Commonwealth.
Auburn looking for the onside kick. That's hard to believe. If he could pooch that thing down there somewhere.
That's exactly what he tried to do as Auburn pulled everybody up. Kick goes over to the far side. It's taken by Lionel James. And Lionel James breaks free. Chris Caudell back there. And Caudell hauls him down at the 40-yard line of Kentucky.
That backfired just a little bit. I think that was the thing to do. Watch him start right up the side, right up the left side here. Now break right. He runs away from it. And number 6 there, Russell Harrison, lost his position, and he tried to go over and make the tackle on the sideline. They broke it outside of him, and that's what you tell Caudell to do. Hold on until help comes.
All right, Auburn's got it down at the Kentucky 43 now, 1st and 10. Just over 14 minutes left to go in the game. Randy Campbell back in at quarterback. He pitches it back to Bo Jackson. And Jackson has to fight for every yard he gets. But he got a bundle of them, Charlie. A good gain.
Looks like he got about 8 or 9. That was well played, but again, a missed tackle.
Host of blue shirts over there to bring him down. Scott Schroeder was among them. But the gain is down to the Kentucky 34. It is just shy of a first down. 2nd down and 1.
Now we need the turnover, Rob. We need them to make a mistake right here. A holding, something to push them back and get this Kentucky group a little breathing room.
Clayton Buford split out of the right. And the handoff goes to Agee, straight up the middle. Jeff Smith in on the tackle. See if it's enough for the first down now. And it is an Auburn first down. Now they'll have to get the chains moved on up. First and 10 Auburn. Just shy of the 33-yard line. And the Tigers getting good field position on the kickoff return by Lionel James. And here's Bo Jackson fighting his way inside the 30. Jeff Smith on the tackle, but Bo Jackson goes down to the Kentucky 28.
Well, it scares you to death every time he touches the football. Watch him here. The sweep left. He sees it jammed up out there. Watch him just start turning back, turning back, turning back. One man left right there to stop him. That was Jeff Smith, and he almost missed him to keep him from going for a touchdown.
Gain of 5. It is second down and 5 yards to go. The ball at the Kentucky 28. Mary Claiborne looks on from the Kentucky sideline. Bo Jackson got the reverse handoff, went inside the 25. He will be very close to a first down, and I believe he's got it. First and 10 Auburn.
Well, they're doing everything they can to slow down this Kentucky defense. Kentucky is pursuing like crazy, getting 6, 7, 8 people out on the option. They're running reverses, counter plays, things of that nature to slow them down.
Well, the Wildcats had the momentum going their way, but now it has shifted right back to Auburn. 11:57 left to go. Auburn leading by 14 points and threatening to add to that lead. Here's Campbell keeping. He is wrapped up shy of the 20 on first and 10. Kevin McClellan getting up off the pile. And Paul Calhoun, the last man to get up. Gain of about a yard. Let's call it second down, 9 yards to go.
I wouldn't, let's just kind of look for a reverse or some type of trick play right here.
Second and 9 from the 20. And they pitch it back to Buford. Buford down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And Charlie, you have called it again as they come with the reverse. And Clayton Buford takes it down to the Kentucky goal line.
Well, I think after you've been around it a while, you get a feel for it. But this is the same play they ran for a big long gain earlier. There was just the normal fullback fake, and they pitch it out to him, and he had a wall of blockers, and he's trying to go for the goal line right there.
He got it inside the 1. So Auburn has it first and goal right down at the Kentucky goal line. And the Tigers can simply take a big, big step towards putting this game away right here. They can move ahead again by 21 points. Pitch back to Bo Jackson. He is hit immediately, but fights his way into the end zone. Cam Jacobs, Scott Schroeder were the men who hit him. But Charlie, it didn't stop it.
Not at all. It looked like to me there was a problem on the snap that time, Rob. It looked like that Campbell fumbled the football, or someone had him by the foot. Something happened. He did not get the ball to Bo Jackson like he should. Bo got hit quick, and of course, with his strength and power, he just stuck it on in the end zone.
So Auburn now leads it by 20 points. It's 41-21, and Al Del Greco is on to attempt the extra point. Del Greco is perfect. Del Greco out of Coral Gables, Florida, incidentally a high school teammate of Cam Jacobs, who plays for the Wildcats. Well, we got exactly 11 minutes left to go. And the outlook is not good for Kentucky. There's a pause in the action with the score. Auburn 42, Kentucky 21.
Does your copier need a repairman standing by for emergencies? Is your copier repairman at your place more than his? Then it's time for a Panasonic. All Panasonic copiers from our reduction copier on down use advanced electronics and are engineered to make thousands of copies without a break. So if your copier repairman's become a permanent fixture, it's time for a Panasonic copier.
Call Viking Office Products for a free demonstration.
Some for sale signs seem to blend into the scenery. Ours stand out. Some have been around long enough to become local landmarks. Our signs sell health. Some have been in the ground so long they seem to have put down roots. Our signs do the job and move. If you have all the time in the world to sell your home, try someone else's sign. But if you're serious about selling, list your home with us. Our sign says, done sold.
Well, the Auburn Tigers are once again in command. They marched 43 yards on 7 plays, took 3 minutes and 8 seconds. They have moved ahead 42-21. Auburn, of course, got that good kickoff return by Lionel James. Set them up in good field position, and they capitalized on it. Mark Logan, number 25, back to return the kick, along with Tony Mays, who is going over to the far side of the field. And again, the kick of Al Del Greco. Tony Mays at about the goal line, comes up to the 15, over the 20, and is driven out of bounds just shy of the 25. So Kentucky now ready to go to work offensively. The offensive unit coming out onto the field, and a quarterback still will be Bill Ransell. We had not seen Randy Jenkins since he was shaken up in the first half.
Well, I wonder if he hurt his neck. He has a neck brace on right now. I guess he could play if he has to, but in this particular situation, they feel they'd rather give Ransell some experience.
It's at the 24, first and 10 for Kentucky. And the pass to Joker Phillips at the 30. Eludes one tackle, and now is going to lose a little bit of yardage as he is finally nailed, and nailed hard by number 99. That is Doug Smith, the defensive tackle.
And Joe will learn pretty soon that he doesn't want to go back in there where the big trees are.
Take another look at this, but Phillips just about had the first down. Let's see how close he came to the 30-yard line.
Well, the ball should be blown dead right here. Right there, they should have blown the ball dead. It should have been called dead. However, that's good effort on his part. There's the big man coming back in to hit him. Probably outweighs him 100 pounds.
It's at the 27. And Ransell is sacked.
They had the blitz on that time, and Kirk Cochran was his outlet, and he did not seem either that or he did not have time to get to him, but there's no one covering Kirk Cochran at all.
Loss is going to be back to the 20-yard line, Charlie. There'll be a loss of about 7 yards. It's going to be third down and long yardage. Third down and 14.
I'd like to see them come back with that motion play that they used earlier. See if they can bring somebody outside in and break that defense down in the middle.
Ransell again to the air. This one's taken in by Rick Massey up at the 33-yard line. Now that is very close to a first down. They have to get to the 34. Let's see exactly where they mark it.
Good poise right here. This is not his primary. He's starting to scramble. He finds Rick Massey. Rick catches the football. I think he might have had a little bit more forward progress than what they gave him, but I believe he's short by a couple of feet.
He was right at the 34, Charlie, and then he had to come on back for it. It's going to be short.
I think you go for it here, Rob.
Fourth down.
I think you go for it right here. They are.
Half yard, maybe a little more than a half yard. We've got only 9 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the game, and Auburn has a 21-point lead. The Tigers leading 42-21.
You figure that Kentucky probably is going to get the football 2, maybe 3 more times after this. They have to go for it right here.
Now let's see what Jerry Claiborne can come up with. Clock starts up, and it's running with 9:10 left to go in the game. Out of the I formation. And they give it to George Adams. He's got the first down over the 35-yard line. Tripping him up was Jeff Jackson, the linebacker. First down, Kentucky. And the Wildcats' offensive drive can continue. Clock 8:40 left to go in the game. Joker Phillips coming to the left. Rick Massey goes out of the right. And Ransdell will go right to the air. Phillips is open. He's driven out of bounds up at the 45-yard line. That'll be short of a first down by about a yard.
All right, this is short out. He missed this a couple of times earlier, or just a quick hitch. Gets his feet set this time, gets the ball out there. Joe makes a move. Looks like he might have a chance to break it, but an excellent tackle by the defensive back.
Second down, short yardage. You get a good look at Joker Phillips, along with assistant coach Jay Callum there at the sideline. Second down, about a yard. And intended for Massey, that pass was nearly intercepted by John Daly, the defensive end, the junior from Birmingham.
Well, Ransdell really did not get his feet set that time. The ball was kind of floating. That should have been a completion if he'd have set his feet and really rifled the football like he did on the same play earlier.
Good call on second and short yardage. Not his third down in the yard. And the clock stopped with 8:20 left to go, and Kentucky is going to go for a timeout.
It looked like there might have been some confusion on the play that was brought in, but certainly when you're behind like this, you need everything that you have. It's tough to have to waste the timeout like that, Rob.
Well, the Wildcats with their first conference game here tonight, and Auburn leading it 42-21 in the fourth quarter. Next weekend, the Wildcats will venture on down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Charlie, I know you're very excited about it, and I'm very excited about it, bringing that game back to Lexington live. Next Saturday night, Kentucky against LSU from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. I can't think of a more exciting place for a football game.
I tell you, if you want to play football, or if you want to go to a football game as a fan, there really is no place like Tiger Stadium. And I think we're going to start pregame about 8 o'clock, and we'll start the game about 8:30, and we hope everyone out there will be with us.
Kentucky against LSU next Saturday night, live from Baton Rouge. We're looking forward to it. Now the Wildcats now face a third down and 1 situation from the 45-yard line. Here's George Adams over the 50. George needed just a step or two more to break it.
Sure did, and George is just an outstanding back. You just wish he had that step of speed. It's the same play they've been running earlier. Watch him hand the ball off. Good block by Kurt Cochran. He breaks it outside. Good move, makes the defensive back miss. Gets caught from behind.
Gerald Robinson, number 95, was the man who brought him down. He nailed him at the 45-yard line of Auburn. That's a 10-yard gain for George and a Kentucky first down. But time for the Wildcats now starting to get very, very short. 7:50 left to go. Ransdell, they go right back up top. And it's caught by Rick Massey. Massey with a fine catch down at the 21. Jimmy Warren was back there on the coverage for Auburn.
Well, that shows the confidence that they have in Billy Ransdell's arm. Watch this, sprint right, watch him turn back, pump on the post. Now he hits the flag route. What had happened, Massey had broke to the inside, turned the receiver around, keep your feet quick, and you might break a tackle and run for a touchdown.
Another Kentucky first down. It's at the 21. Time Eric Pitts is split out of the left side. And Kentucky with a double wing formation. Well, Joker Phillips had it right in his hands, and all he can do is pound the turf.
Well, I think he was trying to run, make a move before he caught the football. They had a full blitz on. He had no one covering, and Ransdell just picked him right out of the bunch.
That'll bring up second down and 10 from the Auburn 21-yard line. There's a good look at that Auburn defense, and number 54 there, Greg Carr, the outstanding linebacker, one of the real leaders of this defensive football team. Second and 10, Ransdell to go right back to the air. Incomplete, intended for Cisco Bryant. The crowd calling for interference. David King was there on the coverage, a junior from Fairhope, Alabama.
It should be called, Rob. Watch this. He'll come up over the top and strip him before the ball gets there. Watch this. There's the contact right there. That definitely should have been pass interference.
An third down and 10 yards to go as Cisco Bryant makes his way off the field, the sophomore out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Auburn with a comfortable 21-point lead. It is 42-21. We've got just over 7 minutes to go in the football game. Kentucky has not given up. And this one is incomplete. Again intended for Joker Phillips down at the 8-yard line. It'll bring up fourth down and 10 yards to go.
Broken up by Jackson.
Well, there's no other choice but to go for it. We certainly won't see Chris Caudell.
Absolutely not. They need to get this first down right here and take this ball on in. And they're not totally out of the ball game. 14 points can turn in a hurry.
It's a dark situation, but it's not completely black yet. Need to get to the 11-yard line to pick up a first down. 4th and 10. Ranso gets it away to Cochran. And he gets a couple of yards. That's all. John Daly, number 96, was there to put him down, the defensive end. And the ball goes over to the Auburn Tigers at about the 19-yard line.
Well, I think Billy Ransko just learned a lesson. 2 or 3 coaches went to him on the sideline, not in anger, but telling him, Billy, on 4th down, you have to give yourself a chance to get the first down. You've got to throw the ball up the field, not to an outlet receiver.
So Auburn takes over with just over 7 minutes left to go. And this is when the Tigers can just start killing time. Got a new quarterback into the game now for Auburn. That's number 17, Mike Mann. He's a junior. First we've seen him tonight. He hands it off straight up the middle. Big carry by number 23, Kyle Collins. Sophomore from Gadsden, Alabama. Russell Hairston was the man who brought him down, but there's that first down play where they just handed off straight on up the middle, Charlie, and it's paid big dividends for them all night.
Well, their quarterbacks are doing a good job of reading. There's a lot of stunning going on in Kentucky's interior defensive line, and they're reading it well.
The first down at the Auburn 34. And again, they hand it off straight on up the middle. Kyle Collins gets it up to about the 38, 39-yard line. Pickup of about 5 yards. It'll be second down, 5 yards to go.
Well, I think you'll start seeing Kentucky gambling a little bit on defense. They'll start bringing linebackers and start blitzing, trying to create a turnover, try to take the ball away from them. Of course, they're going to just try to stuff Kentucky right on down the ball field.
Second down, 5. Some of the fans now starting to head to the exit. Here's the pitch back. Racing over out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. That is number 22, Brent Fullwood, freshman out of St. Cloud, Florida.
Well, all of these Auburn backs have a tremendous amount of speed. The option, angle-wise, was played well that time. It's just a matter of speed by the back. Had more speed than the defensive end and linebacker.
He stepped out at the 42, so it's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down. Third down, probably 2 yards to go from the 42. Clock showing exactly 6 minutes left to go. And this time Mann pitches it to Fullwood. He's got the first down at the 45-yard line. Got about a yard more than he needed. Steve Mazza getting up off the pile for the Wildcats. He made the initial contact. First and 10 for Auburn. And the clock now running under 6 minutes. So all Auburn has to do now is grind it out. 21-point lead, 42-21, and the Tigers will have their 4th victory of the season in the bag.
And they're in a perfect offense to do exactly that, grind it out.
That is Kyle Collins getting the handoff again. I beg your pardon, that's 33, Alan Evans. So Evans takes it across midfield and down into Kentucky territory, down to about the 48, where Russell Hairston was right there to hit him. But another big gain on first down. Call it a gain of 7. It'll be second down, 3 yards to go. Gaines split out to the right. Mike Mann at quarterback, wearing number 17, the junior. And this time he kept it. First down Auburn. Takes it down to the 40-yard line of the Wildcats. So Mike Mann has this team on the move.
They have a lot of their young players in there, Rob. They're trying to give them some experience, figuring injuries down the line or playing in future years. That's the thing to do at this point in this type of ball game.
Well, Auburn has some big, big games coming up on its schedule. You talk about a tough way to go. Got Florida on down the line. They've got Georgia on down the line. From the 40, 1st and 10. Mann will keep it. And another big gain, slicing off now big chunks of Kentucky territory as he takes it inside the 35 to about the 32.
Kentucky's still playing that base defense. I really thought they would start stunning, trying to create a turnover of some sort.
Clock now down to about the 4-minute mark. Auburn leading 42-21 as time now slowly starts to drift away. 2nd down and about a yard. And that's Tim Jesse. With the reverse handoff, goes inside the 25-yard line, and Tim Jesse has another Auburn 1st down. The way it's starting to look, Charlie, the Tigers will tack on at least one more here and win this game by a bundle of points, probably 49-21.
That's the way it looks. Of course, they could stop them and make them go for a field goal.
There's Randy Jenkins with that protector around his neck, shaken up in the 1st half and did not return here in the 2nd half as Bill Ransdell, quarterback the Wildcats, the rest of the way. That's Collins, number 23, Kyle Collins.
Well, Auburn's doing exactly what it wanted to do, Rob. They're burning clock. They're moving the ball steadily down the field. They have not had to give it up in over 2.5 minutes.
John Grinsley in on the tackle for Kentucky. It's at the 20-yard line. Fullwood carried on the next play, not Collins, Brent Fullwood. At the 20, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. And this time reverses his field and takes off inside the 10, touchdown. Oh, what a fine run by Mike Mann, the junior quarterback out of Sylacauga, Alabama. He races 20 yards for the touchdown, and Auburn is moved in front 48-21.
Well, the counter plays are the plays that have given Kentucky a tremendous amount of problems tonight. This is a trap option. Watch him face right at the camera, turn back. There's the big guard going inside. He breaks it up inside. A missed tackle right over there by number 49, Kevin McClellan, and he just dances it right on into the end zone. Good running, good blocking up front, excellent execution all the way around. Here's the extra point try by Del Greco, and it's good.
Well, Del Greco has been perfect here tonight. He has added 7 more extra points. He came into the game 9 for 9. He is now 16 of 16. And now has 198 career points. 18 short of Joe Cribb.
I believe he'll break it, Rob.
Well, you got to figure he's going to get some field goals on down the way. 18 points, not very much at all. Well, it's been a big night for the Auburn Tigers. They will up their record to 4-1 on the season. Victories over Southern Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida State, and Kentucky. The lone loss was to Texas. Kentucky's record will drop to 4-1. Wildcats have knocked off Central Michigan, Kansas State, Indiana, and Tulane. And the first loss coming at the hands of Auburn. Kentucky has a rough road to go. They got to head to LSU next week, then on down to Georgia. As the Wildcats will be on the road for the first time. Auburn scoring drive, 10 plays, 81 yards, and it took 4 minutes and 25 seconds.
Evidently, Texas is a little bit better ball club than everyone thought because they really, in the 4th quarter, annihilated Oklahoma today.
Kick is picked up by Tony Mays. Comes back over the 10. And is hit and dropped at the far side of the field as he comes up to the 20-yard line. And down there to hit him for Auburn looked at number 4, Alvin Briggs, freshman defensive back. Well, we got only 2 minutes, 36 seconds left to go in this one, and indeed it's been a long night for Kentucky, but still a lot of football to go this season, and a lot of things, Charlie, that I think this Kentucky team can still do very, very well.
Well, they've shown some good poise tonight. They did not give up in the second half. They kept their nose in there and kept working hard.
Bill Ransdell under a big rush, and he did not get away. That was number 98, Gerald Williams, who was in on him and in on him in a hurry. The sophomore from Valley, Alabama. So Auburn does not let up one bit.
Well, in this situation, they know Kentucky's going to throw, so they're just backing their ears and coming after it. It's extremely difficult to block people when they outweigh you by 35 and 40 pounds.
Loss of 11 yards on the sack back to the 9-yard line. Cornell Burbage now split out of the left side as Kentucky sets in an I formation. Here's the draw as they hand it off to Tony Mays. And he can't get away from number 51, Jim Bone, the right side linebacker. He's a junior from Columbus, Georgia. Clock running with 1:39 left to go. Eric Hicks coming back into the Kentucky lineup. Eddie Simmons and Matt Lucas come on out. Pitts split to the left, and Cisco Bryant goes out of the right. Third down, 17. And Ransdell can't find anybody open. Auburn with great coverage in the secondary. And Bill Ransdell is put down again. Well, he is getting quite an inauguration here tonight. Harold Hallman and Gerald Williams on the tackle. Of course, Ransdell had played before, just briefly previously. But tonight, Charlie, he's really got his first good taste of college football.
He's been under fire, and I have to give him a passing grade. I think that several situations he just did an outstanding job. He made a couple of mistakes, but that's to be expected. I think he's going to be a super quarterback here in future years.
Trey Gaines calling for a fair catch on the punt by Paul Calhoun. Another good kick by Paul Calhoun as he boomed it to the other side of the Auburn 40. Fair catch made at the 38. That was a 49-yard punt by Paul. Auburn takes over with only 35 seconds now left to go in the game. And Auburn leading it 49-21. Pat Washington is back into the game now at quarterback for Auburn. Hands the ball off straight up the middle. And good running room all the way up to the 50-yard line. That looked like number 39, Charlie. That would be Demetrius Threat.
They do have a stable of running backs.
Demetrius Threat or Demetrius Three, the freshman running back out of Alabaster, Alabama. Gain is up to the Kentucky 49. We've got only 15 seconds left to go in the game, and this should be the last play. They're going to hand it off straight on up the middle. Matt Stein is there to make the tackle for Kentucky. And the clock will now run out. Once again, Demetrius Threat on the carry, but the clock expires, and the Kentucky Wildcats have lost for the first time this season. Auburn a winner, and a winner in a big way. Pat Dye and Jerry Claiborne meeting in midfield. Well, they both coached under Bear Bryant, of course. Claiborne back in the 1950s, Pat Dye in the 1960s at Alabama. Alabama had some awfully good seasons when Pat Dye was there. Now Auburn's having some very, very good seasons.
Well, he was an outstanding player at Georgia. I have a good friend that's coaching over at Georgia, told me that he's the meanest football player that ever played at the University of Georgia. Now, that's quite a statement right there. The real thing about it is he coaches just like he plays. He's really a tough coach. His players are physically and mentally tough.
Well, the final score here at Commonwealth Stadium, Auburn 49, Kentucky 21. Since 1969, when Indiana scored 58. 49 for Auburn, 21 for Kentucky.
Well, they played an outstanding football game. As we talked about in the pregame show, I see 21 points as a result of mistakes that we talked about. The interception for the touchdown, the punt return gave them good field position. The kickoff return after Kentucky had scored probably was the backbreaker. That's 21 points right there. It should have been a closer ball game if they don't make those mistakes.
Well, Auburn was in command at halftime. It was 28-7 Tigers. They went ahead 35-7 on a 16-yard touchdown run by Bo Jackson early in the third quarter. Then Kentucky came back midway through the third. Billy Ransdell hit Mark Wheeler with a 50-yard touchdown pass to make it 35-14. Early in the fourth quarter, George Adams, a short touchdown run. It was 35-21, and the game was winnable. But as you said, Charlie, Auburn with those 2 touchdowns at the end to pull away.
Well, they're certainly deserving at this time of having the number 7 ranking in the country. We mentioned it earlier. Evidently, Texas is an outstanding team. That's the only team they've lost to. They've just played great football since that time.
All right, next weekend, Kentucky heads down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to take on the Tigers of LSU. Once again, our final score here tonight at Commonwealth, Auburn 49, Kentucky 21. For Charlie McCullers, this is Rob Bromley. So long, everybody.
This has been University of Kentucky Wildcat Football. Tonight's game was brought to you in part by Lexington Coffee Products, Central Rock Company, the Kentucky Horse Park, Police Incorporated, Russ Dunn, C&H Ralph, and your local Manville dealers. Join us Saturday, October 15th, live when the University of Kentucky Wildcats meet LSU's Fighting Tigers.